Kay! Ah, you! Damn! Yo! What was that? Yo! Just kicked the fuck out of him. Turnabout reminiscence. Kay Faraday, the young lady who calls herself the second Yatagarasu. The piece of cloth that she conjured up has taken me back to many years ago. Start early Tuesday? Probably not. I'm gonna be fucking tired. 7 years earlier. Oh, it's the judge! Oh my god, it's the fucking judge! Hold on, I'll get to y'all's comments in a second. Especially yours, Snake. Yeah, that's right. I did it. I killed the guy. Who are these two? Was that Gumshoe? But it was the great thief Yatagarasu that told me to do it. I asked the defendant, just what exactly are you trying to say? That's not Gumshoe. Don't you get it? I know the true identity of the Yatagarasu. Who are these two lawyer and prosecutor bums? The Yatagarasu is the man standing over there at the prosecutor's bench. Are you saying that I'm the Yatagarasu? Don't you dare deny it. You told me to kill him when you snuck into the embassy. Are you claiming that Mr. Faraday is the Yatagarasu? Oh, that's Kay's dad. Mr. Rao, I think we've heard just about enough of you. Your Honor, please listen to me. I'm telling the truth. You've got to believe me. Oh shit! What is that? What the fuck is going on? Oh well, she did say she was the second. That makes sense. In accordance with the defendant's accusation, a new prosecutor shall be called to replace Mr. Faraday. This court will be in recess until a new prosecutor is ready. Is this Miles? This has got to be Miles. There it is. It's almost time for me to enter the courtroom. So it is that my first assignment as a prosecutor will be as a replacement for a prosecutor who has been accused by the defendant. Oh, it's Manfred. Sir. Oh, it's the song. Have you read over all the documents regarding this trial? Yes, sir. I memorized everything there is to know. Very good. This paperwork for the prosecutor's substitution is just about complete. Edgeworth, always bear in mind that as your mentor, I, Manfred von Karma, the snap, will accept nothing short of perfection. I understand, sir. To have the chance to stand in court at such an early stage in my career, I am honored and proud. As I have watched over your studies, I am giving you this very rare chance. Prove yourself. Crush the defendant's pathetic lies into oblivion. Yes, sir. Wow. Dumbass Miles, bro. That such a legendary prosecutor will be watching and judging my performance. I have to be perfect in every way. Oh, I can move. Oh, he's got a suit on, bro. Today's trial should have ended in just 1 minute. Because the defendant was picked up by the security camera, correct? Exactly. The killer had the gall to say that he only killed because he was instructed to do so. Even more outrageous is his claim that the case prosecutor, Byrne Faraday gave the order. Faraday is such a fool. He's been cornered by his very own prey. Sir, are you an acquaintance of Mr. Byrne Faraday? He's a pathetic man who speaks nothing but nonsense. Nonsense? He once tried to explain to me a way of punishing those who cannot be brought to court. Those who cannot be brought to court? That is nonsense, for no man is above the law. Well, there are always a few exceptions. Like you. However, there is no reason to even deal with such individuals. The prosecutor is guardian of the court, one with no obligation to outside matters. Thus, there is no reason to deal with such individuals, I see. Edgeworth, disgracing yourself as a Faraday will not be forgiven. Have no fear. I will not let you down, sir. In place of the accused, Prosecutor Byrne Faraday, I'll prove the defendant's guilt. Very good. I've secured an hour of recess for you to prepare to do just that. An hour? Show them all. The power of Von Karma. An hour? How's my badge, Von Karma? It is thanks to you that I have finally become a prosecutor, sir. It's amusing that you wanted to become a defense attorney, yet became my student. It is a strange path you have traveled. It's true that I had wanted to become a defense attorney, but now I am honored and proud to be a prosecutor. I see. Then as a student of mine, I suggest you remember this well. The prosecutor's badge is not to be flaunted. The dignity of a prosecutor lies in the man himself, not in this badge. I understand. I'll keep that in mind. Besides, why put holes in your fine garments? It's simply preposterous. Prosecutors must also take pride in their appearance. I'll keep this in mind as well. I'm constantly having to remind the others at the prosecutor's office of this. It's more fashionable to keep your prosecutor's badge in your pocket. So that's why he keeps it in his pocket. In other words, I always treat a prosecutor's badge with care and honor. I understand, sir. Now I know why he keeps it in his pocket. So have you achieved a firm understanding of the case? Yes, sir. I memorized everything that is written down in the case files. Well then, explain the case to me. I want to see if you really know what you are talking about. Understood. A murder was committed on September 8th in front of the Kodopian Embassy. The victim, Mr. Deadman. Oh my god. It's just Deadman. Deadman was a staff member at the embassy. The defendant in this case, Mr. Mackerel, that's Mackerel, was held for questioning the night of the incident as he was deemed suspicious. He was quickly placed under arrest for possession of the murder weapon, a gun. Furthermore, at the time of the murder, the great thief Yatagarasu had successfully infiltrated the Kodopian embassy as well. At first, Rel claimed that he himself was the Yatagarasu, but that he did not kill Deadman. I wonder what he expected to gain from such a desperate lie. It's possible that he wants to go down while in the spotlight if he is found guilty. There truly is no limit to people's inanity. But I digress. Continue, Edgeworth. Yes, sir. During the trial, the prosecution presented the security footage that captured the murder. Damn. The footage clearly showed Mr. Rel as the murderer. The act of Mr. Rel firing the gun could be clearly seen from the visitors' gallery. Upon seeing that, the defendant retracted his statement and admitted to the murder. I did it because I was told to. By the real Yatagarasu, Byrne Faraday. That sounds about right. However, you've forgotten one thing. This may appear to simply be the murder of a Kodopian embassy staff member. People are actually referring to it as the second KG-8 incident. The second KG-8 incident? I'm very sorry, sir. I fear I've failed to study hard enough. Well, even among the police, it's information that only a select few are privy to. Could you please enlighten me, sir? KG-8. That's what was stolen in the first case. Are you dancing over there, Gorilla? Sir, what do you mean by the second KG-8 incident? In order for me to tell you that, you must first learn about the original case. Take a look at these documents. Rockin' a Legion music. The Legion music is fire. This is a 3-year-old newspaper. Reference materials regarding the KG-8 incident. I received them from my mentor. Have you heard of the Amano Group scandal before, correct? Ernesto Amano. Yes, I have. The secretary of Ernest Amano, the Amano Group's director, was arrested. Under suspicion of smuggling. Correct. CCU was an employee of the Amano Group, and the sole witness to the smuggling operation. It was she who brought the crime to light. However, Miss Yu was silenced before she could testify in court. Wasn't a Kodopian embassy staff member arrested for the murder? CCU. Yes, a Kodopian by the name of Manny Cochin was the suspect. Manny Cochin found not guilty. However, due to the lack of evidence, the case went unresolved. Lack of evidence. If only I was in charge of the case, I would have done everything in my power to prove his guilt. To make sure that all criminals are found guilty, my mentor really is dedicated. Faraday was the prosecutor on the case then, and he was as pathetic as ever. Mr. Faraday was in charge of the KG8 incident as well? That's right. And now, once again, the victim of the case you are currently assigned to was someone who was scheduled to testify against that smuggling organization. And just like that last time, the victim was murdered right before he was to testify. You're catching on? The victim was murdered just before his day in court against the smuggling organization. Events are occurring almost exactly the same way as they did in the KG8 incident. So that's why it's being called the second KG8 incident. Yes. Yep, there was one difference between the two incidents. What would that be? The so-called noble thief that is sending everyone into an uproar. The great thief Yatagarasu. Yatagarasu. I better find out more. If it's true that the Yatagarasu showed up at the Kodopian embassy, what could he or she have been after? No doubt to steal any suspicious accounting records and release them publicly. Or more likely to steal secrets from the Kodopian embassy itself. Just the item that the Yatagarasu stole from there was sent to the police. What was it that the Yatagarasu sent to the police? I don't know the details. Anything related to the Yatagarasu is getting the top secret treatment. Still, I find it very ironic. By returning the stolen item to the police, it was proof positive that the Yatagarasu had infiltrated the embassy on the same day that staff member was killed. Criminals have a way of incriminating themselves, wouldn't you say? That would have to be the first time the Yatagarasu left evidence behind, correct? Yes, indeed. If you wish to learn more about the Yatagarasu, then I suggest you ask Faraday. Mr. Faraday? He happens to be the prosecutor in charge of the Yatagarasu case as well. He's the prosecutor in charge of both the KG8 incident and the Yatagarasu case? Mr. Faraday really has a lot on his plate. Oh, look at the baby K. What is it, little girl? Baby K. You're scary, mister. Whew. Did you need something? I want to trade these coins with you. A fistful of dimes, quarters, and pennies. But it looks like you've exactly $1. Is this what you want? Aw, baby K. Thanks. That's exactly what I needed. Bye, K. Could that child be here to watch the trial? How disrespectful for a child like that to be running around inside the courthouse. Does no one have respect for this country's judicial system anymore? Alright, Manfred. The paperwork for the prosecutor substitution is complete. Why, do you even know how much time there is left before the trial resumes? I'm so sorry. I can have you mopping up this courthouse instead of protecting it in an instant. Why are you such an asshole? It's no bother, sir. Not being completely prepared could prove to be a perfect handicap for me. A proud one you are. Oh no, he did the finger wag too. You had better collect the evidence from Faraday and prepare yourself. It's time for your debut, Edgeworth. So we like actually doing like court stuff? Nope, not yet. Even both stand the same. Just what is going on? Why isn't Faraday here yet? How's it possible the defense is not prepared yet either? Bailiff? Where's Mr. Faraday? I'm not sure. I wasn't really paying attention. Look at the judge. We actually see the judge has a body and legs. Oh my god, the judge actually has a body and legs. Not just a floating head. You must be the one Mr. Von Karma recommended. Oh my god, look at the judge. He a big boy. It's the first time we're seeing the judge like this. I hear this will be your first trial. Look forward to seeing how you perform. Oh, by the way, was there someone celebrating a birthday during the recess? I could have sworn that I heard a popper going off. Come to think of it, the other day with my grandson. Sir, it looks like the trial's about to resume, however. Yes, it will be all but impossible to prove the witness a liar. Without the evidence from Faraday. What's that blasted buffoon up to? It's an emergency, sir. Sirs. Gumshoe! Silence! There shall be no yelling in this sacred hall of law. Bailiff, remove that man from this courtroom at once. Oh. But please, wait. You have to listen to me. There's an emergency. Defendant lobby number 2, Mr. Faraday and the defendant. No way, they were both killed. The two of them, they're both dead, Your Honor. Oh my god. What? What? Oh my god. Stay back. No one's allowed on the crime scene, period. Who does this oddball think he is? Oh, hi, Miss Lawyer. This is becoming quite the hotspot. Isn't she Mr. Rell's defense attorney? Gumshoe! Hey, you! Don't run in the hallway, pal. Who are you to tell me what to do? I'll never find out what's going on like this. It's time for some civil discourse. And you are? Who, me? Hey, pal. Gumshoe! It's common courtesy to tell someone your name first before asking theirs. Point taken. My name is Miles Edgeworth. I am a district prosecutor. A prosecutor? I've never seen a prosecutor as young as you, pal. I've told you my name. Now, would you mind telling me yours? Detective Dick Gumshoe. And just recently, I achieved my dream of becoming a detective. More than a dream, it's what I was born to do. Wait. Maybe I should check and make sure I'm not really in some crazy dream first. This detective is entirely too excited to be at a murder scene. Bro, I love Gumshoe's themes. It's definitely top tier in the entire series. So, Detective Gumshoe, would you mind telling me what you know about the incident? You know that I don't have to tell you anything, right? I know that. But it would behoove you to fill me in on what you know. Wow, you're a proud one for such a youngster, aren't you? Well, anyway, Detective Bad is the one in charge. Detective Bad. So you're just gonna have to ask him for all the details, okay? As for me, I was guarding the door to the defendant lobby number 2. So you were on guard detail. Did you not notice anything strange while you were on when you were on duty? Well, I freaked out when I heard a gunshot, and then I kind of froze. You're a detective, and a measly gunshot scared you that much? And again, I can hardly claim to not know what it's like to hear one at close range. Wow. The references, bro. Then Detective Bad came running to the scene. We went into lobby number 2 together, and both men were lying there, dead. Is that everything? Yeah, that's it. I was in the hallway the whole time, but I didn't hear a single peep of a struggle. Interesting. Other than the gunshot, I didn't hear a single sound of commotion. You mentioned that you've only recently become a detective, did you not? Got it. I'm a brand spanking new detective. So that means you've probably never seen a real prosecutor's badge. Yeah. If you so desire to see one, I just might be able to make your day. You have to go through the trouble, pal, because a real man has a police badge. And someday I'm gonna be an ace detective, just like Detective Bad. Did I say something wrong, pal? Forget it, Detective. Alright. Just hurt Miles' feelings. Alright, who's the lady, bro? Who's the lady? Do you have a minute? You know, I'm not really into talking to people I don't know. Especially at a time like this. I apologize for not introducing myself before bothering you. My name is Miles Edgeworth. I was to take Mr. Faraday's place in court. Edgeworth, huh? Never heard of you. So Faraday's substitute is a newbie, huh? I'll have you know, madam, that I studied under Manfred von Karma. Do not take me for some naive novice. Yo, she's laughing at him. Do not take me for some naive novice. Oh, nah. She is getting laughed at. So you're a student of Von Karma? I should have... Those clothes are a dead giveaway. Stop right there. These are the garments of one who gallantly presents the facts. Wait, hold on. This sounds kind of okay. Thanks for the great laugh, but try not to make me laugh so much, okay? Chill, I wasn't trying to do anything of the sort. Just kidding, I was just goofing around. By the way, you. Callisto, you. Didn't you die? Must have been your sister. By the way, do you know who I am? My name is Callisto Yu. And if you're telling the truth, then we were about to go head-to-head in court. But of course, I've heard much about you, Miss Yu. But of course, I've heard much about you. You're a regular Shakespeare. Did I say something funny? If I show her my badge, she's gonna laugh at me. It is a shame that we will not be able to face each other. It was to be my first trial, too. Oh, that was a declaration of war? How nice it is to be young and carefree. What a nice squeaky clean badge you've got yourself there. I'm jealous. I'm sure its gleam will dull over time with experience. Yo, stop. Are you saying your reputation will also tarnish over time with it? That's not what I meant. Well, you just can't avoid some things in life. I'll never allow my badge or my reputation to become tarnished. I'd like you to update me on the situation. I don't really know anything. Why don't you try talking to those detectives over there? If that's the case, then why are you here? Yo. What's so funny? It's just that the way you speak is so tactless. Damn! The person I was going against in court until only a little while ago was just murdered. Now I can go back into the courtroom pretending as though nothing happened. That's a good point. I apologize for asking such an insensitive question. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Excuse me, but who are you? Detective Tyro Bad. Homicide. I was informed of the situation and came as quickly as possible. So how did you arrive and inspect the body before me? Faraday requested for me to testify in the trial. Plain and simple. Mr. Faraday requested that you be here? I've already contacted HQ about the situation. I've got nothing to say to you, kid. Kid? I'm Mr. Faraday's substitute in today's trial. Therefore, I insist that you update me on the situation. I can't back down here. I have a right to know. Do I need to teach you a thing or two about how to talk to adults, kid? Is he threatening me? Is he going for his gun? Nope. It's just a mirror. How dare he trick me like that? Faraday was stabbed to death with some kind of blade. He had a gun in his hand. The other man, a Mr. Mackerel, was shot and killed. He was found holding a bloody knife in his hand. Was there anyone else who went into the defendant lobby number 2? Yeah, that big lug over there. His name's Gumshoe. Yo. He was in charge of guarding the place. He's claiming that no one else entered the room. If that's the case, then they must have killed each other, correct? Maybe. Such impudence. This guy is really testing my patience. Why was I not informed that you were going to testify in court? Homicides aren't my only gig. The Yatagarasu case is also one of my assignments. So you were called upon to comment on the Yatagarasu's characteristics. In order to assess if Mr. Faraday really was the Yatagarasu or not? Well, it looks like you just might have a brain after all in that head of yours, son. Son? I'm not your son, Pops. Miss Yu, there's someone here who wishes to see you. Who is it? A Kodopian embassy staff member by the name of Manny Cochin. What? Oh shit. That's the motherfucker that got off scotch-free. That guy. What's going on? Detective Bad and Miss Yu's moods just changed all of a sudden. Wait a second. Wasn't Manny Cochin? I'll be right there. It's nice to see you again, Miss Yu. Why are you here? I have no desire to ever see you again. No. Actually, would you mind stepping outside for a brief chat? No, don't do it. Fine, let's go. No, that is a bad idea. Oh my god, well, she's dead. Dad. Von Karma? It's been a long time. I knew you would show up. You usually do when the Yatagarasu is involved, and I see this case is no exception. Do you know Detective Bad, sir? Yes. He's like an old bloodhound that never leaves the scene of a crime. If only he would get a promotion and move on. It's the crime scene where a detective is most useful and effective. It's not like I don't know that. Moving on, though, Bad. The man that I just passed by. Was he not the suspect from the KG8 incident? So I was right. Just what is that man doing wandering around here? That Faraday. Can't believe he let such an easy catch get away. Imbecile. I would have proved his guilt in 3 minutes. Von Karma, I think you've said enough for now. It's in poor taste to speak like that about the departed. Very well. Back on topic, I'm placing Edgeworth in charge of the investigation here.
Objection!
Hey, Francisca, she's so young. She looks so young. Papa, how can you place him in charge? I love this song, too. Francisca, what are you doing here? I'm here for a summer vacation. What else? She looks so young. Francisca von Karma. So she is here on vacation from Germany. She is the daughter of Manfred von Karma and a student of his, who's also junior to me. You're the one who's junior to me, and don't you forget it. Get the little mini whip. You're not conveniently avoiding the bar examination, are you? Huh. If you're able to pass, then I'll have absolutely no trouble at all. I'll never allow myself to lose to you, never. Why does she always have to be this competitive? Anyway, Papa, are you really assigning Miles Edgeworth to cover the case? Yes, I am. Why do you ask? Well, you know, I'm close to becoming a prosecutor myself. I'm 100% confident that I can do a better job than him. That's just like Francisca. She has no problem bad-mouthing someone right in front of them. Dad? Yeah? These two will be conducting the investigation. What? Were we to let both of these kids loose on the crime scene? This is the perfect opportunity for them to work on their prosecutorial skills. A crime scene is not a place for children to be messing around in. I'm the one with the authority over this crime scene, Bad. And I will not tolerate complaining. Damn, what an asshole. Edgeworth, Francisca, I'll leave this case to the two of you. Understood, sir. Yes, Papa. I'll go take care of the paperwork now. Remember, I'll accept nothing but a perfect report from the both of you. Do not disappoint me. Poor Gumshoe. Hold on, Von Karma. I still haven't agreed to this. What's Gumshoe doing? Miles Edgeworth. It's been quite some time, Francisca. This will be the perfect chance for us to see which one of us is truly worth the Von Karma name. Would it kill you to at least say hello? Long time no see. Very good. Just because you became a prosecutor first doesn't mean you can act all proud. Yeah, she hasn't changed a bit. Miles Edgeworth. As I was saying, we shall see which one of us is worthy of the Von Karma name. How old is she here? She's 13? Bro just let her on a murder scene at 13? Crying out loud. I've been reduced to a babysitter. Looks like Mr. Von Karma was successful in convincing the detective. That's just like him, he never fails. Now I'd appreciate if you could quickly run me through the facts, Detective Bad. You're better off checking things out on your own. Very well. Jiro would be proud, he would. Cause like, fucking 13 years old isn't crazy? Seems like getting help from Detective Bad will be a most arduous task. Damn, right on top of one another? Yo, not Jiro 3. Damn. It's the only real explanation that they killed each other simultaneously? Miles Edgeworth, you should listen to someone until they are finished talking. What are you talking about? I'll only say it one more time. This is a competition to see who's truly worthy of the Von Karma name. The person that figures out the truth first wins. So the person who doesn't discover the truth is a dishonor to the name? Exactly. I don't care that you became a prosecutor before me. I simply refuse to hear any more foolish things come from your foolishly foolish mouth. Fine, whatever makes you happy. Can I take that as you accepting my challenge? Once again, whatever makes you happy. Huh. Well then, let's begin the investigation, shall we? I'm going to find the perfect evidence and prettily present it like the professional I am. Competing to discover the truth behind a crime. How delightfully childish. Kid! Ha! Serves you right, Miles. He just called you a kid. I said kids, kid. How dare you call me a kid as well? I'll do what I please. I won't allow you to cause a ruckus on my crime scene. Hey, big guy. You're going to watch over these two. Yes, sir. Detective Bad, sir. Now, do what I say from now on, kids, okay? You better not get in our way, Scruffy. Wow, that's the first time she's ever called him Scruffy. You'll feel the bite of my whip if you do. Then you, prosecutor boy. Let's get your investigation started already, alright? Great. Now even that detective is treating me like a child. Alright, it's time to get investigating. Get a move on, prosecutor boy. My name is Miles Edgeworth. And if you were to call me prosecutor boy one more time, it will be my duty as a prosecutor to look into your monthly salary. But what? What would you do with my salary after you saw how much it was? That's up to you now, isn't it? Really? Sounds good, pal. He's so naive. Detective Bad, may I have a word with you? What is it? It appears that both a knife and a gun were used as murder weapons. Yeah, it does. That leads us to our first question of the investigation. Where did the men acquire the weapons? The gun was inside of Faraday's bag. It was a piece of evidence that was presented in the trial earlier today. It was used to kill the Cadopian embassy staff member. But I never heard anything about the knife. Mr. Rell was being held by the police. There's no way he could have brought it in. Magic, you fucked it up. Hey, man. Could have been a piece of evidence that had yet to be presented? But then why doesn't Detective Bad know about it? Wait, what if? It's possible that Mr. Faraday brought the knife in under the guise of prosecutorial evidence. He could have then brought it out and attacked Mr. Rell with it. Maybe you got a brain there after all, kid. Is he going to treat me like a child forever? Looks like Mr. Faraday attacked Mr. Rell first. We then counterattacked. That's the only logical conclusion you can draw from a scene like this. Not yet. I feel like it's much too early to be drawing conclusions already. I'm must first find conclusive evidence so as to protect the honor of the Von Karma name. The window is open and... there's a fresh flowery scent in the air. Ugh, the flowers in the garden down there are so gross and ghastly. Do you think maybe you could try offering something useful for a change? Well, at least there's no way someone escaped through this window, pal. They wouldn't wake up and smell flowers after a fall from the 3rd floor. Are you willfully ignoring the fact that there are also iron bars on the windows? Yeah, I guess there's that too. Either way, no one could get through these windows, right? They thought of everything when they were designing this courthouse. Very nice. Whoa. What is it, Detective Gumshoe? My TV at home is so tiny compared to this one, pal. That perhaps you should purchase a more normal-sized television like this one. Wow, that being normal is crazy, Edgeworth. Oh, let me see here. Wow, this thing's huge. What? And way too noisy. You're the noisy one, Scruffy. Don't touch it. You get your fingerprints all over it. But I didn't touch it. Preservation of the crime scene is the foundation of detective work. Foundation, huh? Sounds like something the rookie here needs to shore up on. Detective Bad, do you have any thoughts on the case? Faraday and Ralph. Looks like they killed each other to me. Although, there are a few things that just don't seem right. What would they be? Why don't you try thinking on your own first before you bother me, boy? What? Now I've been downgraded to just boy. There are some plastic bags stacked up on the table. There's a tea set too. There doesn't seem to be any sign of a disturbance. Yeah, the table's all neat and tidy. Maybe they were super quiet in their scruffle? After all, I didn't hear anything from the outside of the hallway, you know. Maybe the plastic bags scattered on the floor are throwing us off? Why are the plastic bags scattered all around? Those bags are for keeping evidence safe, pal. I know that much, detective. You are such a... You sure are good at this stuff, aren't you, pal? Normally, I'd be happy when someone compliments me, but when it's this guy... Anyway, could these plastic bags be evidence of a fight between the two men? Looks like Mr. Faraday fell on top of Mr. Ralph. At first glance, it seems like they must have killed each other, however. Using logic, the only logical conclusion is, aha! What was it? What was that outburst for? My detective's instinct just hit me real hard. It was Mr. Ralph that fell first, see? You don't need a detective's instinct for that. It's common sense. But I suppose we won't know much more than that until after I examine the bodies. His hand is all black down here, see? I wonder what it could be. If you look closely, this blotching pattern resembles an ink stain. An ink stain? Yes, I usually get ink on my hand when I use my feather pen. A feather pen? I've never seen one before. Sure you aren't just making it up, pal? Looks like Mr. Rell died with a knife in his hand. There's some blood stuck on it. Then he must have used this as a weapon. Yep, no doubt about it. Was Mr. Faraday carrying this on his personage? Did he bring this piece as evidence for the trial? Or did he bring it with a very different intention in mind? I should jot down some notes about it. I believe Faraday brought this as evidence. It was found in Rell's hand. Looks like Mr. Faraday died while holding the gun in his right hand. So he shot Mr. Rell and then fell on top of him while still gripping onto the gun? I guess that does seem kind of strange, huh? I mean, why would Mr. Faraday... Oh, shit. Why would Mr. Faraday know how to fire a gun? It's not exactly rocket science. Even I know how to pull a trigger. Although I doubt I'll ever need to use one. I hope I never have to fire a gun either, pal. But it sure does look cool to hold a gun in your hands. It appears that the police's screening procedures need a thorough review. Anyway, I should jot down some notes. Yeah, I got it. Mr. Rell's cause of death was from being shot, correct? That's what we think, but it's hard to tell with him lying face down. Death is bad enough, but it's truly lamentable that someone would try to hide the truth. Are you sure they were trying to hide something? I can't confirm Mr. Rell's cause of death with his body positioned like that. Detective Bad, I'd like to examine the bodies in further detail if possible. What's this? You're not able to form a theory with the way they are right now? I believe an examination of the bodies is vital to find the perfect evidence, don't you? I suppose you have a point. Well, hurry up and get on with it. Labby. Yes, sir. We've taken enough photos of the scene, sir. And there you have it. Do you not approve? Of course not. What? Investigation of a crime scene is the work of a detective, so don't touch a thing. Hey, big fella, turn over the body for me, will you? Okay. Please forgive me, Mr. Faraday, sir. Gumshoe, do not get emotionally involved. Remember, you're a detective. Yes, sir. Understood, sir. Mr. Faraday is holding a gun in his right hand. That's the one Mr. Rell got blown away by, right? Labby, your answer? Yes, sir. We found out the ballistic markings do match that gun. Oh, ballistic markings are the figurative fingerprints on a gun leaves on a bullet when fired. Every gun leaves its own unique ballistic markings. Therefore, by looking at the markings on a bullet, you can tell which gun it came from. Yeah, that's it. Of course I already knew all about that, pal. Maybe you'd be better off going back to the academy. Come on, sir. Cut me some slack, will ya? Yeah. So the bullet was fired from this gun is what... So the bullet that was fired from this gun is what felled Mr. Rell. There's a knife wound in his chest here, see? I wonder if the wound matches the knife Mr. Rell is holding. Labby? Yes, sir. Verifying now, sir. Make it quick. From the look of things, one could deduce that the knife Mr. Rell is holding is what killed Mr. Faraday. There's something in his breast pocket. It's a fountain pen. Hey, you know, I always keep a pencil behind my ear. It's because Detective Bad is always telling me. You should always write your name on everything you own. Yes, somehow you do strike me as quite a forgetful individual. Shot in the chest. It takes some guts to fire a gun in a courthouse. I mean, I've been a detective for a whole week and I still haven't fired a single round yet. There aren't any burn marks on his clothes. That must mean... Wait, burn marks? A round grows very hot if it's discharged from a firearm. Therefore, burn marks are usually left when a shot is fired from point-blank range. Ergo, Mr. Rell must have been shot from at least a yard or two away. You sure do know a bunch of neat stuff in your age, pal. Apparently, this detective has as much common knowledge as your everyday marsupial. I was now trying to understand how the two men died. First, Mr. Faraday took the gun and the knife out from today's trial evidence. Then he aimed the gun at Mr. Rell and fired. However, Mr. Rell managed to grab the knife and counter Mr. Faraday while being shot. Then the two men fell together where they stood. That is my theory in any case. What a crazy way to go. Still, something about that explanation just doesn't seem right. I believe I now have a firmer grasp on what happened here. Francisco! Ah, I see. Did you figure something out? It's a competition, Miles, and as such as I'd appreciate it if you didn't talk to me. As you wish. Alright. 13-year-old Francisca. Yeah, pal? I'm so excited, pal. This is my first real crime scene. Let's get investigating. Detective Gumshoe. I thought my investigation was supposed to be conducted in a calm, collected manner. What do you know about running an investigation, little boy prosecutor? I know that at the very least I have a greater grasp than you of what happened here. Why, you don't know any more than me, pal. Look, you just stay behind me, boy, and out of the way. Ironic coming from the guy that's been a step behind me the entire case. My first time setting foot inside the courthouse. Who would have thought it'd be for my first case as a detective? But you know, I get the feeling I'll be coming here a lot more in the future. Oh, you will. Don't you worry, buddy. As a suspect, detective? Of course not, pal. Anyway, this lobby's actually pretty luxurious. I mean, for a defendant's lobby, it's got a pretty big TV. Oh, and there's that tea set on the table over there. But you didn't know that I like to drink tea. Wow, this room really is decked out. If it means spending time in here, maybe being a suspect isn't a bad thing after all. Getting to suspect that leaving this detective in charge of anything might be bad. But he is right, this room is rather well furnished. And somewhere in this room, the truth is slumbering. It's time to find it and give it a wake-up call. Yay! That splotch on Mr. Faraday's hand. I wonder if it might be the ink from his fountain pen. Oh, let's ask the lab guy. Detective Gumshoe, I confirm that the substance on Mr. Faraday's hand is the ink from his fountain pen. I see. Good work. Ah, you know, I've always wanted to say that, even if it was just one time in my life. Mr. Faraday wrote with his fountain pen in his left hand. I think it's fair to assume that he was left-handed. It appears that Mr. Faraday's pen is very important to our case as well. Okay, if you say so, pal. There's a very tiny pile of plastic bags on the table. Yeah, a portion of them wound up scattered on the floor as well. It's not likely that the ones on the floor were knocked over during the struggle. In which case, might there not be another explanation as to how they got there? Another reason? I believe it's possible that the blood on the outside of the bag is related somehow. Ugh, please get that blood away from me, pal. Detective Gumshoe, whose blood is it on this bag? Hold on, let me ask the lab guy. Hey, yo, lab guy! Alright, please hurry. Hey, yo, lab guy! Wait till you get a load of this, pal. It's Mr. Faraday's. Oh, and the technician said they didn't find anything else on or in the bag either. It appears that this bag is a very important piece of evidence. Okay, if you say so, I'll leave it in your hands, pal. There's not much left to investigate, huh? They really did kill each other. No, we can't conclude that quite yet. There's still something I find very peculiar here. The theory that simply kill one another is too simplistic in this case. In fact, there's actually a contradiction that shows there's another possibility. No way, pal, really? I suppose I'll just have to show you the contradiction in this crime scene. Is it because the gun's in the right hand? I mean, that doesn't really make any sense. Eureka! What? Okay, that's dumb, because you know why? Because I'm right-handed. Okay, so I'm right-handed, right? But I shoot left-handed. But, like, I guess, man. I mean, like, you can be ambidextrous, that shit. Now, we come face-to-face with this contradiction I spoke of, and it is this. Mr. Faraday uses left hand to write with his fountain pen. Ergo, he is left-handed. And yet the handgun is in his right hand. You see, like, you can be... whatever. Don't you find it odd that the left-handed Mr. Faraday would hold the gun in his right hand? That, ladies and gentlemen, is the great contradiction haunting this crime scene. Hey, you're right, pal. It does seem kind of strange. Not really. But how could something like that happen? The facts add up to one conclusion and one alone. Someone else put the gun in Mr. Faraday's hand after he died. Plastic bags scattered on the floor and a gun in the wrong hand. I sense the presence of a shadowy figure behind this case. A person of vile intent who is serious about keeping the truth from us. Yeah, no. You can still... Man. I don't like that, bro. Alright, I'm confiscating your lungs, pal. Hey! Don't touch my lungs. Here's the autopsy report. I'm taking your hands. Give me your hands. It is probable that Mr. Rell survived for a short time after he was shot. However, Mr. Faraday died instantaneously from his stabbing. Interesting. Notes pertaining to Burn, Faraday, and Mackerel. It looks like we now know everything we need to know about this case. Are you sure we know everything? Of course, the incident began when Mr. Faraday attempted to get his revenge. How else am I gonna jerk? You better learn with your fucking stubs. The prosecutor went into a rage with from being accused and tried to kill the defendant. But the defendant fought back and they ended up killing each other. It's all very clear and simple. There's absolutely no margin for doubt. Wow. Wow, Francisco, are we really this dumb? Do you really believe that to be the truth? Huh, are you saying that just because I figured out the truth before you? That you don't want to believe it's true? It's alright, if you disagree with my argument, then prove me wrong. Well, if there are any contradictions to be found, that is. Don't worry, I will. Here we go. Mr. Faraday's death was instantaneous, while Mr. Rell survived for a short time. From this, it is obvious that Mr. Faraday died after he shot Rell. Mr. Rell, while on the brink of death, stole Mr. Faraday's knife and stabbed him. Those are the facts of this case. Mr. Faraday's death was instantaneous, therefore he must have attacked first. Proving that logic to be false is probably the fastest way to show her that she's wrong. In that case, it's a first look at any holes in her theory. Rebuttal. I thought we got the autopsy report now.
Hold it!
Take him away? No, you can keep your hands, bro. Nope, you can keep your hands. Do you truly believe that Mr. Faraday died instantaneously? I have the murder report right here. Mr. Faraday died instantaneously of shock due to being stabbed in the chest. There, you see? It's been documented clear as day. Ah, son of a bitch.
Hold it!
Mr. Faraday shot Mr. Rell before he died? Do you have any basis for that statement? Your foolishness has no end, does it? Now, I hate to repeat myself, however. Mr. Faraday died instantaneously. That's all the basis I need. Alright, so if Mr. Faraday died instantaneously, then he must have attacked Mr. Rell before being stabbed. You're finally beginning to catch on, I see.
Hold it!
So you believe that the dying Mr. Rell stole the knife from Mr. Faraday? Mr. Rell became desperate as he did not want to die. Human beings can do amazing things when they are put to the test. So the two men struggled. And in the end, Mr. Rell was able to grab the knife and stab Mr. Faraday. The messy condition of this room is a testament to their struggle. Yes, my logic is perfectly sound. Alright, 13-year-old. Can you really say that it's perfect? What are you insinuating? Nothing. However, I can't let what you said slide by without further inquiry. One must be clear and precise, so if you could append that statement to your testimony. Fine.
Hold it!
But Mr. Rell is on the bottom. So, yeah, Mr. Rell would have had to die before Faraday, and Faraday was killed instantly. About this statement. Mr. Rell used all of his remaining strength to take the knife and defend himself. One can easily see that they had a violent struggle. Of course, it's nothing compared to what my riding crop can do. What? Wait, what? How does one compare the damage her crop can do to the state of this room? Is that the thing that she's holding? Furthermore, all the plastic bags on the floor in this room were scattered there due to the fight. Is there anything else that I can explain for you? No, that will be fine.
Hold it!
Oh yeah, claiming speculation as fact already? Don't you feel that the evidence is a bit lacking? You'll find all the evidence you need just by looking around this room. Mr. Faraday collapsed on top of Mr. Rell. In addition, Mr. Faraday died instantly, making a counterattack impossible. Furthermore, the room is a total mess from their fight. I dare say that there's more evidence here than you could whip a whip at. Looks like she's becoming more and more confident. And looking at this place, she might have a right to be. After all, everything here seems to support her theory. It looks like you're starting to see my point. I've as good as won our little competition. There's something strange about Franziska's theory. I should compare her claim with the data I've gathered thus far. I just know there's a contradiction somewhere. Two men were fighting. The struggle would have surely caused quite a bit of noise. However, Detective Gumshoe testified that he heard absolutely nothing. Huh, you placed too much faith in that detective's testimony. And I forgot Franziska's. Shit. But for the sake of the argument, let's say there wasn't a fight. How then did Mr. Rell get his hands on the knife? Mr. Faraday's bag was sitting right here in lobby number 2. It's not hard to imagine that perhaps Mr. Rell saw a chance and took it out at some point. Lightspeed, how you doing, homie? So, what you're saying is this. Mr. Rell took a chance when he saw the opportunity and took the knife from the bag. And then Mr. Faraday shot Mr. Rell after being stabbed? Isn't there something strange in Franziska's statement just now? Wait, something doesn't add up. Oh, really? It's simply not possible for Mr. Faraday to have shot Mr. Rell after being stabbed. Oh, okay, it's in here.
Take that!
According to the coroner's report, Mr. Faraday died instantaneously, meaning that he died immediately upon being stabbed by the knife. Ergo, he could not have possibly have fired the gun after that. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh, you got me. But of course, well, if the report is correct, then there's only one correct explanation. If we suppose that Mr. Rel attacked first, then Mr. Faraday, who died instantaneously, would have been unable to kill Mr. Rel. Therefore, Mr. Rel must have stabbed Mr. Faraday after he was shot. Then they both died. That is the only explanation that makes logical sense. Negating your opponent's ideas in order to prove your own theory. I see you've been studying, Francisca. I just want to explain it to you as simply as possible, before you foolishly propose a foolish theory that only a foolish fool like you could... How naive of you to believe that only your opinions are valid, and still expect to discover the truth that the crime scene offers you. Francisca, you still got a ways to go. What are you talking about? Are you saying there's a flaw in my logic? Mr. Faraday died instantly. And the fact that he died, the fact that he did is what gives rise to the contradiction in the scene. The contradiction here in this crime scene is the order of bodies found. Let me get this straight. What you are arguing is this. Mr. Faraday took the gun from his evidence bag and shot Mr. Rel. Then the wounded Mr. Rel found an opportunity to take the knife and strike back. Upon being stabbed, Mr. Faraday died on the spot, and Mr. Rel died thereafter. If that's the case, then how do you explain this? Take a good look at the order of which the bodies are piled. No! Mr. Faraday's body is lying on top of Mr. Rel's. Therefore, Mr. Rel must have died before Mr. Faraday. Impossible! Yes, I agree that it's strange. It seems strange no matter what angle you approach it from. Which means that the real mystery behind this crime scene that we must solve is... No, not so fast, Miles Edgeworth. What now? I simply think that you ought to think a bit more outside the box. And that's even clearer now than that the incident started with Mr. Faraday's murderous intent. She sure bounced back quickly. Sorry, give me a second. An explanation won't be enough this time. It's going to take some very decisive evidence to prove her wrong. What happened at part 2? It was just chance that Mr. Faraday's body fell on top of Mr. Rel's. The two bodies fell into a pile, which indicates they attacked each other at the same time. It really doesn't matter in the slightest that they fell in the opposite order. I just know that Francisca's explanation isn't absolutely correct. All I have to do is find a hole in her logic. Once I do, I can then present her with the evidence that proves the contradiction. Thanks, Miles.
Hold it!
About that. Damn! Pressing someone's testimony in order to gain some time to think. You're a real one-trick pony, aren't you? It's too bad your only trick works on fools. That wasn't my intent. I simply wish for more details as to how Mr. Faraday ended up on top of Mr. Rel. Someone's impatient. I was just about to explain everything to you. So do you think you could hold on for a minute? Ow! Francisca, I'll make you a deal. I'll hold on if you hold on to that whip of yours. Oh, I'll hold on to it already as I whip you. Ow! Yo. Well, now that you've quieted down a bit, I'd like to continue if you don't mind. So can I not press anything? Is she just gonna hit me?
Hold it!
The two fell on top of each other. Don't you find that to be a bit strange? Not at all. I can see it in her eyes. She's dead set against me from the bottom of her heart. Miles Edgeworth, once I'm done here, you'll see that there's nothing strange at all. Now then, the two men fell into a pile.
Hold it!
What do you mean by they attacked each other at the same time? I assume Mr. Faraday had the two different weapons in his hand. He made to attack Mr. Rel while holding both the knife and the revolver. And then, after Mr. Faraday fired the gun, Mr. Rel grabbed the knife as he was falling and stabbed Mr. Faraday. And that is how Mr. Rel wound up on the bottom with Mr. Faraday on top. At close range, that is more than possible. Yes, it's possible, but... Well, if you have any other ideas, then show me what you've got. Oh, I will. And to that extent, I'd like for you to append what you just said to your testimony. I don't see any point to that, but as you please.
Objection!
No, no, no. So you believe they killed each other at close range? Sorry, but that's impossible. Just as it is written in the crime scene notes. The firing of the handgun did not leave a gunpowder burn on Mr. Rel's clothes. Therefore, Mr. Rel and the gun must have been separated by a distance of at least 2 or 3 yards. Yo, I love this music, bro. Yes, this is by far the biggest contradiction. The two bodies are piled up on each other, yet the gun was fired from a distance. And with there being no chance that Mr. Rel moved that far after being shot, that leaves only one possible explanation. What a completely foolish line of foolish thought from a thoroughly foolish fool. If I'm not right, then who was it that made the first move with the intent to kill, huh? Who? The person that attacked first with the murderous intent would be neither man. Here in this room, contradictions appear no matter which man we claim attacked first. Thus, there can only be one explanation. There was a third person here. Boom, 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 boom. It was that third person who killed both Mr. Faraday and Mr. Rel, and set their bodies up to make it look like a double murder. That third person is the real culprit. Miles Edgeworth. There's just one thing you're missing. Evidence, correct? Exactly. Everything you've said up until now is nothing but a story played out in your head. However, this is where the real test begins. Can you prove that there was a third person involved in this crime? Of course. If a third person was truly here, the fact would resolve the glaring contradiction. The proof that this has all been set up made to look like they killed each other. I'll present it and lay bare the final piece of the puzzle that's not yet in place. What is this piece of evidence that proves there was a third person involved?
Take that!
The gun in Mr. Faraday's hand and the plastic bag with his blood on it. These two items point to the presence of a third person. How so? Recall Detective Gumshoe's testimony. I was in the hallway the whole time, but I didn't hear a single peep of a struggle. There wasn't a struggle in this room, and there shouldn't be any plastic bags on the ground. Meaning that someone else must have deliberately scattered them around. Oh, you pissed her off now, Miles. Do you not see the possibility in this? Disregarding the gun from the moment, there's a high probability of blood splatter when a knife is used on a person. If the culprit held the knife with a plastic bag around it, they could use the bag to catch any blood spatter from when they withdrew the knife. Then, by spreading a few more plastic bags around, mixing the bloody one in with them, and arranging the room to make it look like there was a struggle between the two, they were able to conceal their presence. You go, Miles. Let's go. This is first. Yo, even Bad's writing it down. Looks like we still got a long way to go in this investigation. Yes.
Objection!
Who was that? Was that you? Oh shit! It's the judge! I liked her objection. Hey, what's up, Lightspeed? How you doing, homie? The judge literally has a body and legs, bro. He's so weird to look at, bro. What the heck's up with you, pal? Mr. Bad, I advise you to place Detective Gumshoe under arrest. No, they're gonna. I had a feeling it was gonna be a Gumshoe. What? What? What's the meaning of this? Huh? Looks like you're not man enough to discipline your own subordinates. Don't you dare. That detective claims he was there, standing in front of the door the entire time. But I have it on good authority that it was all a giant lie. Miss you, I ask that you please explain the last statement. I'll let His Honor explain it himself. I saw with my own eyes, I tell you. Judge, what are you doing? During the recess, there was a period of time when there was no one in the hallway. What? See, Mr. Bad? So I ask you, why would a detective who was supposedly doing his job the whole time want to fabricate such a lie? I just keep looking at the judge, bro. Just seeing the judge. Gumshoe, did you kill Faraday? No! Of course not, sir. It would appear that the one who set this whole crime up is that detective. which is basically renders his testimony a complete lie and wholly invalid. Looks like your perfect logic has come tumbling down, Miles. Was that statement really a lie? Detective Gumshoe, you're now a suspect in the murder of 2 men. Now spit out the truth, or so help me. I haven't lied to anyone, sir, honest. I really was there. I was in the hallway the whole time.
Hold it!
Detective Bad, I ask that you please do not act without my permission. After all, I am the one that is heading up this investigation, am I not? Don't talk like you know what's going on, boy. All I want is for the investigation to run perfectly. Perfection is the only wish of a disciple of Von Karma, after all. Therefore, before you take the Detective Gumshoe into custody, I'd like to set the record straight on something. And what's that? What should I ask Detective Gumshoe about? I suppose the one thing I'd like to clarified is Detective Gumshoe's motive for committing this crime. Motive, huh? Gumshoe? You got a good grudge against Faraday or anything? No, sir, not me. Not a single bad thing against Mr. Faraday, sir. Is that a fact?
Objection!
Oh, he looks pissed. I like her objection. You really have a problem with lying down, don't you, Detective Gumshoe? I'm telling you, I am not lying. The more unnatural you act, the more suspicious you become, you know. If you want a motive, Edgeworth, I have one for you right here. Could you please share it with us? However, be forewarned that I won't hesitate to object to flights of fancy, because all I'm interested in is the perfect explanation. Yo, you're serious, aren't you? Fine. You amuse me, so I'll humor you with a little courtroom practice. Gumshoe's motive. It was about a week ago. I saw the detective get chewed out by a livid Faraday in front of the precinct. He stood there super pale as Mr. Faraday yelled, "That's a salary cut for you, you nitwit." A brand new detective suddenly getting his salary cut. That's reason enough for a grudge. Well, how's that for the perfect explanation? You totally misunderstand me, pal. No matter how mad I get, I can never hold a grudge. Quiet. Can't trust anything you say. Sir. There's nothing wrong with the motive she proposed per se, but there are some gaps in her logic that need to be filled in. Misused perfect explanation. May not be so perfect at all. Nah, Gumshoe, man.
Hold it!
Mr. Faraday was upset. Yeah. You know what else Mr. Faraday isn't exactly known to get angry often? Oh, you know what else? Mr. Faraday isn't exactly known to get angry often. But there he was, totally beat red in the face. And the offending detective just stood there, pale as a ghost, like he was about to die. Just like the face he's making right now. Ugh, I'm completely innocent, I tell you. Yo, bro. The poor man. Yo, why is she laughing like that, bro? It was quite the scene with the detective.
Hold it!
You just stood there watching this unfold in front of you? Yeah, I have to say it was really enjoyable, too. But that's why when I saw Detective Gumshoe earlier, I knew to steer clear of him. No way. I thought it was just because I had something stuck on my face. But you do? Huh? What have I got stuck on my face? Guilt. Let's start with your eyes, nose, mouth. Oh, and those ridiculous eyebrows. Hey! Leave him alone. I like his eyebrows. Huh? Oh man, messing with your head is just too much fun. Miss you. If you don't mind, I'd like to return to your testimony now. Sure, why not?
Hold it!
To cut a new detective's salary right off the bat like that? I'm not really familiar with the way you guys relate, but is that a common practice? Speaking of cutting my salary, didn't you threaten to do that to me earlier too? I suppose I did. It's only natural to cut a worthless detective's salary down to their actual worth. My father could even fire anyone, new or old, with a snap of his fingers. Do you think maybe that's reason enough for detectives to hate you people? Well, I guess. They really shouldn't cut people's pay. True. Detective Bad, don't tell me Mr. Von Karma cut your salary earlier.
Hold it!
A week ago? About a week ago. Then you and Detective Gumshoe are acquaintances? No way. I only met him in person today. Then how did you know about Detective Gumshoe? Oh, I've seen him around before. Okay.
Hold it!
Call your explanation perfect. Is it not to your liking? Unfortunately for you, it's just not up to my standards. Oh? Is there something you want me to clarify in that case? What should I do? Should I raise an objection? I understand Detective Gumshoe's potential motive for killing Mr. Faraday. However, what about his motive for killing Mr. Rel? His motive for killing Rel? Like I would know. If there was no clear motive for both of the murders, then I doubt this incident would have occurred. Wouldn't you agree? Is there anyone else who might have had a grudge against either of the two men? Or should we look into that ourselves? Oh, in that case, I have absolutely no idea. What? That's impossible. She must know something. Wait. Can you please not glare at me like that? It makes me laugh. I didn't even do anything and you're already laughing away. Well, anyway, the way I see it, as long as he had a motive to kill one of the two, this crime would have played out the way it did anyway. Oh? Would you care to explain your logic? And this time, please try to provide a truly perfect explanation. Perfect this, perfect that. Stop being so uptight, or is that a requisite trait for being a Von Karma? Miles Edgeworth, I demand that you shut this rude woman up. I wish you'd both be quiet for just 1 second. Oh well, I guess I'll just have to explain it to you kids. There's no one out there with a motive to kill both Mr. Faraday and Mr. Rel. All you really have to do is establish that someone had a grudge against one of the two men. Mr. Rel, who happened to be there, became a witness to Mr. Faraday's murder. Therefore, he was killed out of necessity and set up to look like they had killed each other. I wonder if that's really true. Is there no one out there with a grudge against both men? I should take another hard look at the evidence for this morning's case. The second KG8 incident, as people are calling it, involving an embassy staff member. Two men who both wound up as suspects in this case. Is there someone else I'm overlooking who is somehow related to them? You're being blackmailed, you. You're being blackmailed by this guy. So there is no one who might have a grudge against both Mr. Faraday and Mr. Rel? I suppose no one is a bit of a stretch. But I'm pretty sure no one like that was here in the courthouse today. She's lying through her teeth. We just saw someone like that here earlier. Besides, you don't need to prove that killer had a grudge against both men. Yeah, I know who it is, but I just want to press.
Hold it!
Someone with a grudge against one of the men. In that case, aren't there plenty of other people who fit the bill? Sure. After all, who doesn't garner scorn from another simply by being alive? But the only one who had held a grudge and acted upon it was Detective Gumshoe. Furthermore...
Hold it!
Hold it. So you're saying that he was basically silenced? Aren't you glad you managed to avoid the same fate, Your Honor? Why, if you had been the one to witness the blood-covered detective... What? Detective Gumshoe? You would kill even me? Yo, I love seeing the judge like this, bro. What? I could never do something as terrible as that, Your Honor. There's no need for even a second of deliberation. I will hand down my verdict here.
Objection!
Yo, Your Honor, take a look around. We are not in a court right now. It would be greatly appreciated if you would stay here with us in reality. Please forgive me. I know not what I do. And you there, Miss Yu, hurry up and continue with your testimony. If you fail to do so, I will whip you into shape. That's nice. Sounds kind of like fun, actually. Are you into that kind of stuff? Or... Anyway, Detective Gumshoe had to erase the witness, Mr. Rel.
Hold it!
I didn't do it, pal. No hard feelings, but I don't think we can take the word of a criminal seriously. But I can't even begin to think of ways to set up a crime scene. I suppose you do lack the necessary tactical mind required to do such a thing. Why do you have to kick a man when he's down, pal? You shouldn't put yourself down, detective. You're a big boy. I bet you thought it up all by yourself, right? Yeah, that's right. I worked real hard at it, too. Wow, Gumshoe. I think this proves one thing about the detective. He has the mental acuity of a worm.
Objection!
Miss Yu, I believe there is someone you overlooked in making your statement. Or rather, is it because you'd rather not bring this person up? What do you mean? We are looking for someone with a reason to kill both Mr. Faraday and Mr. Rel. I can think of at least one person that fits the bill. He was a suspect in the original KG-8 incident, and a member of the Cadopian Embassy staff, Mr. Manny Cochin. That's right, the very man who came to visit you earlier out in the hallway. The man who killed a member of the Cadopian Embassy staff, Mr. Rel. And the man who was the lead prosecutor of the KG-8 incident, Mr. Faraday. Are you telling me that Mr. Cochin has no reason at all to kill both of these men? Well, I suppose he might have a reason or two. You cover for me, pal. Maybe you're not such a bad guy after all. Aw, don't get ahead of yourself. You're still a suspect, make no mistake about that. The perfect evidence, the perfect testimony. These are the only things I wish to hold. But I didn't do it! You will stay under my authority and go investigate Mr. Manny Cochin for me. Remember, I will not be very forgiving should any of these leak out. You want to investigate Cochin? You'd just be wasting your time. And why is that? I like Detective Bad Steve. Cochin was up in the viewing gallery watching the trial, or so I was told. Every cop at this place has been keeping an eye on the guy since he arrived. That's the only real suspect we have is still Detective Gumshoe. I suppose so. No way, come on, Detective Bad. You gotta believe me, sir. I really was in that hallway the whole time, sir. I never took a single step into this room, sir. Okay. Then are you saying there was someone else who passed through the hallway? No. There was no one else, sir. Then why should I believe you didn't do it? There's one incredibly foolish detective, standing right in front of a crime scene all by himself. It's as good as confessing of guilt. I have to admit, it's a bit strange. Most criminals will fabricate some sort of lie to escape their crimes. If that detective really wanted to prove that he is innocent, you'd think he would, at the very least, offer up "I spaced out while on duty" or the like. Come on, Gumshoe, time for your interrogation. Aww. Detective Bad. No, don't bring him. Hold it. Hold it, Miles. No. Miles Edgeworth. I will go on ahead and report this to Papa. And that, as they say, is that. Right, everyone? Bye, Judge. Well, I suppose we should both be getting back to our real jobs now, huh? Before we do, Miss Yu, there's something I'd like to speak with you about. What is it? Yo, why is she laughing? Why is she laughing already, dog? I ain't even say nothing yet. To have set these two men up and make it look like they killed each other. If there's only one thing I cannot forgive is the desecration of the dead. Alright, what do you want? So what do you want to ask me about? The current case of the murder, Cadopian Embassy, a staff member. I've heard that people have begun calling it the second KG-8 incident. Only among you law enforcement types. Yeah, what about it? I'd like for you to tell me everything you know about the original KG-8 incident. I'm afraid I can't help you. I don't know anything beyond what was reported in the papers. No, I believe you know much more, since you are directly tied to the KG-8 incident. I'd appreciate if you stop with the false accusations. Baseless outbursts are useless both inside and outside the courtroom, don't you know? I do. But I also know that I do have a leg to stand on here. Yo, think you can stop making that ultra serious face in front of me? God, if you could please stop laughing for just 1 second. I'm not going to make any headway like this. You got to show her exactly how related to the KG-8 incident she is. Miss Yu, I believe that I have proof of your connection to the KG-8 incident. That file is your proof? Very well then. Why don't you tell me exactly how I'm related to the KG-8 incident? Oh shit. You linked to this case through the former suspect, Manny Cochin. Yes, and that sheds light on your discussion. How? What? Looks like I jumped the gun on this one. Oops. Weren't you the one who mentioned it earlier? About how Mr. Cochin came to see me? Obviously that makes us acquaintances, right? I suppose so. So is that all you wanted to talk about? If so, I'd like to get going. Wait a second. Alright then. Why don't you tell me exactly? Okay. I didn't. That was too fast. Your connection to the KG-8 incident is through the victim. The victim's name is CCU. You will know that she has the same last name as you. You? Can you really still tell me with a straight face that you are not related to this case? Yo. Sorry, but we're not related. What? Just kidding. Yo. You asked that question with such a serious look on your face, so that I couldn't help but... Yo, did she do this in court too? Miss Yu, I ask that you please tell me the truth. Alright, I'll tell you everything I know. As you guessed, the one who reported the smuggling activities in the Amano group was my sister, CCU. As I thought. And she was killed right before she was to testify at the impending trial. Okay, so it was her sister. By Manny Cochin. But because he was tried once, it was acquitted, he gets to live out the rest of his cushy life completely carefree. All because of the lack of evidence? No, I heard that the evidence to convict him did exist. What? I heard it from Mr. Faraday himself after Mr. Cochin's trial was over. Apparently a man in black made off with most of the important pieces of evidence. That the evidence had been tampered with. Isn't it just like a criminal to do something like that? The smuggling ring being run out of the Amano group by one of its secretaries. They bailed Mr. Cochin out. Turns out they were in league with each other all along. How big was the smuggling ring? Was it a large operation? I don't really know. Which is why I wanted to become the lead defense on this case that people are calling the second KG-8 incident. But I haven't learned anything new at all. I was probably expecting too much, I know. You mean you think this case has nothing to do with the smuggling ring? I don't know what to think. Why did Mr. Cochin want to meet with you earlier? Actually, he came to watch the trial. Apparently, he only found out that I was the defense lawyer on this case after he arrived. He figures he should say hi and one other thing. Looks like you couldn't resolve anything this time either. Too bad. Damn. What's that supposed to mean? Oh boy, stop it with that scary face already. I'm fine, really. I gave him a good slap across the face. The way she talks about slapping him as she laughs away is kind of creepy. But it's just as Mr. Bad said. He's not related to the double murder. I asked around, people in the gallery claimed that he was in the seat the entire time. Talk about cruel fate. Well, this is about all I know. Huh, sorry. Guess I wasn't much help, huh? That's not true. I'm sorry I made you recall such a painful time in your life. Yo, could you stop laughing, bruh? Edgeworth, you really are too serious for your own good. You really need to learn to relax. We wouldn't want you to die of stress, would we? Thank you for the advice, but there's no need to worry. I work in my own way, and I will catch this criminal in my own way as well, you'll see. Look at you with your game face on, ready to go. I'm making no such face. Did you know laughter is the best medicine, Edgeworth? Don't you get tired of making such a serious face all the time? I'm charged with making sure that all the criminals of this world are found guilty. I have no need for laughter. There you go, making that face again. Oh well. I've got to get going. I still have a few loose ends I need to tie up. Fucking Edgeworth. Or you. The KG-8 incident in this murder investigation. It is my belief that these two cases are related to each other somehow. Plus, that detective, Detective Gumshoe. It's obvious he's lying, even though the lie is hurting his chances. Clearly, this case is far from over. But whether or not that detective is the murderer can only be determined once I've completed my perfect investigation. Mr. Von Karma, I swear to uphold your honorable name, or my name isn't Miles Edgeworth. There's a lot of stuff going on in this picture, Doug. There's a lot of stuff going on. This guy's having trouble with the water fountain. This guy's doing his job. He's saluting while trying to push out a baby, it looks like. He's looking at the model. Gumshoe's pissed at this guy. And this you's just sitting there. Sir, what is to become of the trial into the Cadopian embassy staff member's murder? Indeed, since both the suspect and the prosecutor are now dead, the case will be dismissed. In other words, the trial ends here prematurely. Huh. Looks like you have to just wait a little bit longer for your big debut. He's in the fetal position. Looks like he's trying to push out a baby. I suppose it can't be helped. You're doing better than Jiro. Who? The evidence for this trial will be transferred to you in a little while. Sir, what do you think about the murder of the Cadopian embassy staff member? And the murders of Mr. Faraday and Mr. Rell? What an outrageous circus it has all become. That Faraday brought it all upon himself with his naivety. An outrageous circus. Right, sir. I grow weary of this topic, Edgeworth. I will have you assigned to a different case. Papa, you'll come and watch my courtroom debut next, won't you? I'll consider it. Sir, if I may, please allow me to continue my investigation. Whatever for. I know that there is already a suspect in the murder of Mr. Faraday and Mr. Rell. However, there's not enough evidence to prove that it was he who committed the crime. I'd like to continue investigating in order to find the perfect proof of his guilt. Perfect proof. Don't make me laugh. A worthless person like you... Wow. Worthless person like you has no right to claim such a thing as perfection. Wow. Papa? Who do you think is the real culprit behind these murders? Miles and I, we're competing to see who can find the real killer first. Plus, being able to investigate a real crime scene is a really rare opportunity. It would give us some real-life experience, wouldn't you agree? If you want to investigate this case that much, then do as you wish. Then you're allowing us to continue? In court, your top priority is to win, and a solid investigation is one of the keys to winning. We have to make sure you become recognized as a first-rate prosecutor, don't we? Wouldn't be very interesting otherwise. Huh. Wouldn't be very interesting otherwise. Why do you say that, Von Karma? What wouldn't be very interesting? I'm returning home now. Edgeworth, Francisca, see to it that I'm not disturbed, save for the results of your competition. Yes, sir. Of course, Papa. Francisca, thank you. What are you thanking me for? Your logic earlier was built on that scruffy detective's lie. That means that competition is still on. Yes, just as you wished. I couldn't let you get off so easily. Now then, let's see how well you're fare on the investigation from here, Miles Edgeworth. I know I don't have enough information yet. So my first order of business will be to question anyone involved with this case. It's you. Oh, it's you, Edgeworth. And who are you? Wait, you were at the crime scene just now, weren't you? You should be disbarred for not knowing who I am. I am Francisca Von Karma. I am about to become the successor to my family name. About to. I guess that means that for now, you're still just another kid. In which case, it's only natural that I didn't know who you are. What? Ah, why are you whipping me? Anyway, looks like they're planning to hold the evidence a bit longer. If there's one thing I can't stand, it's waiting. I'm terribly sorry, but I have a few more questions to ask of you. Look at you, eyebrows scrunched with the lines on your forehead. And that to ask of you. What exactly is so funny? Sorry, I'm just bad at dealing with a super serious atmosphere. Apparently, they failed to teach you proper behavior at a crime scene in law school. Ah, whew. I feel much better now. So, what does he want to talk about? I'd like to inquire as to where you were at the time of the murder. We were in the defendant lobby number 1 the whole time until we heard the gunshot. And by we, I mean Mr. Bad. If you don't believe me, feel free to ask him yourself. You were with Detective Bad? Why? We had a little something to discuss, that's all. A little something to discuss, huh? Oh, I can go in the courtroom. Whoa, look at the courtroom. Objection! Objection. It wasn't me, I tell you, I didn't do anything wrong. Yes, I understand, so let's just calm down, okay, buddy? I doubt I'll get anything useful from the detective while he's this agitated. So I take it that you are acquaintances with Detective Bad? Yeah, he was the detective in charge of the KG-8 incident. Detective Bad is also related to that incident? That's right. He was the one who was supposed to protect my sister, Cece. But you know how that turned out, don't you, Edgeworth? Miles Edgeworth, I have no idea what you two are talking about. I've heard the KG-8 incident from my papa. But how does that case relate to you, Miss Yu? The victim of that case, Cece, was my little sister. You're making that super serious face again. I'm fine. Really. No, you're not. I should make it a point to rub some more salt in his wounded pride every time I see him. Wow, that's fucked up. The way she talks about doing that, she laughs away is kind of creepy. Yeah, this is like her nervous tick. 100%. Oh, speaking of Mr. Bad, he and Mr. Faraday, I'd say they made up just about every single time the Yatagarasu made a move. It was practically a given that the two would meet up at every one of the crime scenes. I see. You didn't mention that he is in charge of the Yatagarasu investigation earlier. Maybe I should ask her what she knows about the Yatagarasu in more detail. You claim that at the time of the murder, you were with Detective Bad. But don't you lawyers usually discuss the trial with your clients during a recess? We do, and that's what I was planning to do. But Mr. Faraday was being rather threatening, and he dragged Mr. Rell away. After that, Mr. Bad came to the lobby number 1, so we just stayed there and talked. And what did you talk with Detective Bad with? Nothing interesting. I just insulted him some. Talked about how the trial was going, and then I insulted him some more. Bloody. She's not laughing. Her mouth seemingly spews nothing but insults. Anyway, Mr. Bad and I were in the defendant lobby number 1 when the murder occurred. So I really can't tell you anything about the hallway or lobby number 2. I see. Fucking mackerel. I'd like to ask you a few questions about your client, Mr. Mackerel. Now, your client first claimed to be the Yatagarasu, is that correct? Yeah. Once I heard that, it was the Yatagarasu that made off with the evidence from KG-8. I began to ask Mr. Rell all sorts of questions, but to no avail. Turns out Mr. Rell was not the Yatagarasu. He had just made that up. Well, no shit. He made it up? Mr. Rell's crime was caught on tape by the security cameras. But there was no footage of him sneaking into the Cadopian embassy itself. Hold on for just 1 second. Then you mean to say that you knew he was not the real Yatagarasu? That he was just another cold-blooded killer and you were ready to defend him? Yes, that's right. I see. So a defense lawyer is actually just someone whose job is to cover for criminals. That's why defense lawyers are so detestable. But they are no match for us Von Karmas. They're all detestable except for a couple. Except for a couple of defense lawyers. You'll meet one soon, Miles. I don't believe it. You're serious. Why don't you save the face for something really worth being serious about? And Edgeworth, do you remember what I said earlier? I have my own agenda. I'm still on the hunt for leads regarding the KG-8 incident, alright? And for that, you have not a single qualm about defending a known killer. Don't put words in my mouth. I said no such thing. The only way I had to get close to Mr. Rowe was to be to his lawyer. I had no intention of covering for him, ever. So don't you dare suggest I was going to. I'm sorry. Forgive my rashness. Damn. She got real pissed there. Miss you. Yo. I was wondering if you could tell me about the Yatagarasu. Yatagarasu, huh? I don't really know much about that character myself. But I do get a lot of consultation requests from companies to defend them. Requests from companies? Yatagarasu was in some petty thief out for money, you know. Alright then, perhaps the Yatagarasu's in the business of stealing people's lives? You're not very funny or witty, are you, little Miss Von Karma? Damn! Francisca, be careful about who you whip. Choose carefully or we may be... Ow! There, I chose carefully, just like you wanted. Yo, that just now was hilarious, little missy. Of course it was. Yo, what is wrong with these two women? Why does my pain give them delight? And, so in the end, what is the Yatagarasu? I have to say, I had never even heard of this thief when I was in Germany. The Yatagarasu deals in information, namely in digging out dirt about backroom dealings and the likes of companies. The Yatagarasu is a vigilante who steals such info and then makes it public for all to see. Vigilante or not, this person sounds like just another criminal to me. I suppose you can put it that way too. But either way, I get a lot more clients now thanks to that thief. Sounds like Miss Yu is profiting nicely. Suppose I've gotten all I can out of Miss Yu. I should move on and speak with Detective Gumshoe now. Detective Gumshoe. Hey, it's you, pal. You're here. Yow! As am I. I don't think you need to whip him to let him know that. I didn't do it, pal. I swear on my honor as a detective, I really didn't. Your words are useless. I place my trust only in the evidence, detective. Once the investigation is fully over, and should we find out that you are the killer, there will be no mercy to be had for you. Have a heart, pal. Well, you're not worried, right? After all, you have nothing to worry about if you really are innocent, that is. That's right. Hey, pal, go and do your perfect investigation and get the real killer for me, will ya? I would have done so even if you had not requested me to, detective. So you and Mr. Faraday had a small meeting last week, did you? What exactly did you do? What did you do to make him so angry? I just asked Detective Bad the same thing myself, pal. Turns out he was mad at me because of my very first day as detective. I reported in at my usual post instead of the Criminal Affairs Department. By the time I got down to the Criminal Affairs, I was really, really late. And that's when he gave me that huge speech. I remember doing the same exact thing in elementary school. On the first day of school every year, I'd always wind up going to my old classroom. How pathetic for the detective to be comparable to a mere school child. Poor detective. You couldn't be standing guard in front of the door to lobby number 2 during the recess. However, when did you receive the order to do so, and from whom? Earlier, at around 3:20, and from Detective Bad, pal. Today's trial took a really crazy turn. So I was told to make sure nothing happened to Mr. Faraday. And yet something did happen to him, correct? It looks like it was a total waste of manpower to assign you to guard duty. Ow! Your words sting worse than your wit, pal. So it was Detective Bad who ordered him to stand guard, huh? Detective Bad's looking a little bad. Now then, Detective Gumshoe. Is there anything else you'd like to tell me? Nope. Not a thing, pal. In that case, allow us to take a look at what you are carrying on your personage. Ah! Wait! You can't do that! There's nothing of any particular value here. Well, my handcuffs and badge were confiscated by the Detective Bad, so you know. What is that envelope I see sticking out of your coat pocket? Ah! Hands off, pal. Just show it to us already. Yow! Bonus! Annual bonus check within. $5 total. Except there's no check inside. You've had your look. Now give it back, pal. It's my first bonus as a brand new detective. $5. I just got it and cashed it today. I had literally no cash on me up until I did, you know. That envelope is really special to me. Now give it back. You don't need rubbish like this. Don't worry, we'll throw it away for you later. How could you? Literally had no money on him until he cashed this. I'm sorry, but I need to take him in for questioning. Can't even look at it. I think I've asked just about everything I needed to. No, wait. Since he became a suspect, there was one piece of evidence I should reconfirm. Officer, I ask that you wait a second. I still have one thing I'd like to reconfirm with Detective Gumshoe. Understood. Now please make it brief, sir. Want to hear from the horse's mouth. I must confirm whether or not his testimony about when the crime occurred is the truth. You told me earlier that you heard no sound other than the gunshot out in that hallway. Is that correct? No mistake about it, pal. And you're also claiming that no one passed through the hallway either? Is that also correct? Yep, not a single ant passed through that hall while I was on duty. You realize that that lie you're telling is only making life more difficult for yourself. Huh? Oh. But it's true. I didn't see anyone go through the hallway and I didn't hear anything else, pal. I bet the killer found a way to kill the two guys that's beyond what I can even imagine. So he intends to continue telling this ridiculous lie. Gumshoe, why are you doing this, bruh? Just tell the truth, man. But why would he do so, given the situation he's in? I believe a thorough investigation of the hallway in front of the defendant's lobby is in order. Kay! Ah, you! Damn! Yo! What was that? Yo! Just kicked the fuck out of him. How could you have not noticed that coming? Ew, my leg! Wasn't that the child I changed money for earlier? She just kicked the fuck out of him. Kids sometimes be so cruel. It looks like she dropped something. Swiss roll. Courthouse special. What a... Man, what the fuck, Kay? Kicked me right in the back of the leg. Maybe we should arrest this girl. She might turn out to be a valuable lead. I believe some sort of punishment may need to be dealt the next time we meet. I believe I asked all that I need of this man. Now for Detective Bad and the judge. We get to talk to the judge. We have to confirm who is correct, the judge or that scruff face, right? I suppose we should inspect the hallway in front of lobby number 2 next then. I suppose so. Shall we head on over, Francisca? Judge! So, did you see anything else? No, I don't think so. I see. Well, thanks for your cooperation. Oh, it's nothing. Just doing my duty as a defender of the law. That'll be all for now. I'll ask again if I have any other questions. Anytime, Detective. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a few loose ends I have to tie up. Judge, wait a second. Oh, you're that new prosecutor Mr. Von Karma recommended, right? My name is Miles Edgeworth, Your Honor. And I'm Manfred Von Karma's daughter, Francisca Von Karma. I'm set to become the successor to my genius father any day now, Your Honor. I see. Mr. New Prosecutor recommended by Von Karma, Miles Edgeworth, and Miss J... Ah! Miss J... I bit my tongue. Are you alright, Your Honor? Please feel free to refer to me as Miss Von Karma, Your Honor. As for him, just Edgeworth is fine. Apparently somebody doesn't feel that I'm worthy of a proper title. Very well then. I shall call you Miss Von Karma and Mr. Prosecutor Edgeworth. Your Honor, Mr. Edgeworth is fine. Sir. Now, about your earlier testimony. Yes? What about it, Mr. Edgeworth? I'd like to ask you a few questions about what exactly you saw. Alright, after all, it's my duty to clarify my testimony as a defender of the law. I greatly appreciate your cooperation, Your Honor. Now, the first thing I will need to do is figure out that detective's exact movements. Can look outside. However, I doubt the killer could have escaped through here. Of course not. This is the 3rd floor after all. It appears that bars were installed on this to prevent people from falling out. Bars? What bars? Can you not see them from your vantage point? Oh, yours too short. I must remember not to bring up that taboo subject again. What is this? It's a pink-colored piece of trash made of rubber. Pink piece of trash found on the windowsill of the hallway window made of rubber. I feel like I've seen something like this before. Well, all I see is a piece of garbage. But you know, the fact that there is a litter running loose inside this courthouse, it's simply unforgivable. Ah! It's not like it was I who littered. Rubbish belongs in the rubbish bin. Gah! Yo, why does she keep... Yo, poor Miles. Did bro just touch a cactus? What's the matter? I pricked myself on one of these cactus needles. I didn't think the needles on this thing would be so sharp. Well, what'd you expect? Can you imagine how bad it would be if you were hit on the head by one of these? Anyway, this cactus seems to be unrelated to our case. Do you really think so? Because I believe this cactus sitting on this windowsill is completely related. Is it? Oh? Well then, I look forward to your explanation on how exactly it is related. Where were you at the time of the murder? Do you suspect me of something? No, nothing in the story, Your Honor. Very well, you may continue with your testimony. Your Honor, it's your testimony I'm after. Oh! I had no idea you were chasing after me or my testimony. I begin to sense that I might want to avoid being in a trial run by this judge. All your trials are run by this judge, buddy boy. Let's see here. Now then, how should I put this? When you get to be of my age, you need to pay more frequent visits to the restroom. If you go take a look through the window at the end of this hall, you'll see a small window. That is the window to the men's room. Why is there a window in the restroom? In other words, you can see clearly into this hallway from this men's restroom. Without going into the restroom, the detective, Gumshoe, is it? Well, he was standing in front of the vending machines buying something from it. However, and this I couldn't believe, when I was about to exit the restroom, there was not a soul in the hallway anymore. Your Honor, if you could please calm down and explain it to me rationally. Oh, I'm really sorry. Please let me regain my composure. It was really suspicious. That's why my finely honed judge's intuition said. Although, well, until the murders occurred, I just sort of brushed it off. Apparently, this judge doesn't understand the concept of staying calm. The restroom window, huh? I wonder if you could really see the men's bathroom window from that one there. You can. I'm looking at it right now. I demand that you show me this view at once. Pick her up. I suspect that her height is what's limiting her ability to see. That's probably all I'm going to find out from His Honor. Mr. Edgeworth, may I return to my other duties now? Yes, I'm sorry to have held you up. Thank you for your cooperation, Your Honor. Anytime, Mr. Edgeworth, anytime. The judges in this country seem rather friendly. Yes, if not a little wishy-washy. However, I hear that they are known to hand down very fair verdicts. Detective Bat, I have something I wish to inquire about. Hey, how about doing some actual work, you? I wish you would inquire into Detective Gumshoe's movements during the recess. You're getting in the way of the investigation. I have an order from Mr. Von Karma himself, plus I still hold investigative authority. So I hear you were the one who called for Detective Gumshoe to come down here. Faraday, that guy was just accused, you know? I just knew something was gonna happen. My detective's instinct told me. Yeah, because you did it. A lot of good it did you. Couldn't even protect one lone prosecutor with it. Damn. Oh! Francisca actually scared of someone? Francisca, I think you need to apologize. I'm sorry. Damn! I think it's the first time Francisca was actually scared of somebody. I'm terribly sorry, Detective Bad. Please continue. He does look scary. I used the phone on the first floor and called the precinct. I told them to send somebody over. And that detective's the one that showed up. And only upon his arrival did you send Detective Gumshoe to stand guard, Detective Bad? Yeah. I'll wait for him on the first floor. After he got here, we came up to these defendant lobbies together. As we entered this hallway, we ran into you, who started laughing immediately. She told us that Faraday was really mad, and that he dragged Rail off to lobby number 2 to have a word or something. And that Faraday had said to not let anybody interrupt them. So what choice did I have? All I could do was tell the big lug to stand guard outside. And around what time did all that take place? Let's see. I think it was about 30 minutes before I heard the gunshot. After giving the big lug his assignment, he never left the hallway, not once. Oh, and how could he make sure of such a claim? One of the guards out in this floor's main lobby swore to me he didn't. The detective never left the hallway, then where did he disappear off to? That's simple. He must have gone into lobby number 2 just as I suspected. You and I, we were in lobby number 1 next door. The only one without an alibi is Gumshoe. It would seem that I am still missing some key pieces of information. Detective Bad, you also heard the gunshot, did you not? Yeah. I heard it when I was in defendant lobby number 1. So I came running towards lobby number 2 together with you. How much time elapsed between you hearing the gunshot and your arrival on the scene? Less than a minute. What were your movements upon hearing the gunshot? I grabbed the big lug who was just walking around in the hall and raced into lobby number 2. And that's where we discovered the bodies. In that order. That makes you the discoverer of the crime scene, right? Yeah, I guess it does, little miss. I'm about to become a prosecutor very soon. You will treat me with the dignity I deserve or else. Damn! You wave that thing around anymore. And I'll have you arrested for obstruction, little miss. You wouldn't dare. Just joking. Yeah. Detective Bad is really something if he can make Francisca behave. Are we about done? Is there anything else I should ask him about? Oh shit. Where were you headed? Where were you when you heard the gunshot? I didn't mean to click that. Defendant lobby 1. I got it. I didn't mean to click it. Now get out of here. You're getting in the way.
Hold it!
I'm not through questioning you yet. I'd like to know a little more about the circumstances under which you heard the gunshot. Like as I said, I was in lobby number 1 with you. I have nothing else to add. Well, his testimony clearly corroborates with what Miss Yu said. Miles, you already asked me about that, remember? I suppose I should ask about something else. Why are you even to tell me the exact time you heard the gunshot? It was around the end of the recess, and the child was about to start again, I think. He was supposed to make time for himself to transfer the evidence he was holding. But I got the sense he wasn't going to show for the handout, so I figured I should go get him, or he'd be late. And just as I thought that, bang! The sound of a gunshot hit my eardrums. So I heard the gunshot right before the trial was about to restart, huh? Are we done here? I don't have any time to waste. Oh, come on. All you're doing is standing in front of this door doing nothing. I get the sense that he is somewhat investigating this crime scene. Or rather that he is keeping us under surveillance. But to what end? Detective Bad, may I ask you that you cooperate with us just for a bit longer? I don't have anything else to say. The two of you. You guys were the ones who said you wanted to investigate in the first place. Fine then. Be obstinate. We'll just do as we please. Come on, Miles. You may no longer be willing to help us, however. May I ask for the forensic scientist cooperation? Do as you like. Hallway window. Oh! I didn't even know how to, actually, okay. This is a pretty spacious hallway, but it's nothing compared to the ones at home. Indeed. Because the house itself is a bit too spacious. However, even with this much space, there's nowhere for that scruff face to hide. Well, other than the crime scene just beyond those doors. Francisca, I believe it's too early to draw any conclusions. It's already proven that Detective Gumshoe was in this hallway the entire time. Now all you need to do is gather more information. And to do that, I'll just have to examine everything I see here by myself. So according to the judge, someone looking through the restroom window that you can see from the window at the end of this hall can see into this hall. I wonder exactly how true that statement is, don't you? Well, it is possible to get a pretty clear view of the hallway from that restroom. Is there really a men's bathroom window through the window at the end of this hall? Of course. Can you not see it? Ow! I demand that you show me this view at once. I suppose I should examine that window again once. Anyways. Oh. One of these black speckles. I believe it's a pile of ants eating away. Oh, that detective. He claims that not a single ant slipped by him. And yet here's a whole hail of them. Ah! What are you hitting me for? As a replacement for that pathetic detective. Perhaps I should add this deduction to the detective's growing tab of pay cuts. Anyway, I wonder what the ants are eating. From the look and sweet smell of it, pieces of cake and chocolate from a Swiss roll. Faraday! Son of a bitch! Miles Edgeworth, the courtroom is to be kept pristine at all times. Gah! It wasn't me that dropped the food on the ground. The courthouse must be kept clean. Ow! Yo. The dirt on this bench smells like some sort of sweet substance. Can't believe there was something going on dirtying the courthouse. For shame.
Hold it!
Calm down, Francisco. Now take a good look. Doesn't this smudge look kind of like a handprint to you? I suppose it could be. Which means, perhaps we can lift the prints of the person who sullied this bench. I see. And then we'll know the identity of our mystery slob. You there, the lab technician. Could you please find out who this handprint belongs to? Sir. Yes, sir. Got the results of the fingerprints analysis, sir. And do we know who they belong to? Sir, the fingerprints belong to Detective Gumshoe. Oh? Interesting. Good work, officer. There you have it. Yes, I suppose so. Now I know the identity of the person who dirtied the bench. I sense that you and I will be using this information in very different ways. These bits of chocolate and cake, can they not have come from a Swiss roll? A Swiss roll? Why would a courthouse sell a thing like that? Didn't we just go over the vending machine? It may not seem like the right venue, however, it is being sold right over there. Like, come on, Francisco, we just did this. The vending machine. Ah, I see. Stay neutral as the Swiss do until the end with these. 2 for $6. Talk about expensive. Leaving the fact that it's on the expensive side aside, the fact that the cake crumbs and chocolate bits were found in this hallway suggests that they came from a Swiss roll that was purchased from this machine. I think I have a pretty clear picture of what happened here now. Naturally. After all, I'm here, aren't I? Detective Gumshoe must have sat on this bench as he ate a Swiss roll. Oh my god, Gumshoe. What are we doing? Gumshoe's just a freaking mess. As he ate, he dropped it on the floor and sullied the bench. God damn it, Gumshoe. Can't have nothing nice, Doug. Not clean up after himself. How utterly despicable. Don't you dare whip me again. It wasn't I who made the mess in the first place. Anyway, if it was indeed the Detective Gumshoe who bought the Swiss roll, that creates a rather interesting contradiction of facts. Contradiction? Where?
Eureka!
Eureka! About Detective Gumshoe's finances, he said that until this morning, he didn't have even a single penny on his personage. Just how poor is that guy? If his bonus really was only $5, then he should not have been able to purchase a pack of Swiss rolls. However, facts being as they are, we found cake crumbs on the floor. Meaning Scruffy must have bought a pack somehow. Indeed. That detective should not have been able to purchase a pack, yet he did. The question is how? These definitely don't match. Oh, what? They do? This pink rubbery substance. I saw this in a different form earlier today. I believe this is a piece of a pop balloon. Oh. I completely forgot about the balloon. I suppose that's possible. The balloon probably got a little too close to our friend, the windowsill cactus. That would be the logical conclusion, yes. Yay. I believe I now have a very firm grasp on what happened here. Well, I do too. Alright, Francisco, would you care to share what conclusions you've come to? Why should I do that? We're still in the middle of a competition, you know. We should be checking to see if your conclusions are wrong first, so you go ahead. It's almost cute that she's going this far to ensure that she wins. Almost. Very well, but first we need to pay his honor a visit to correct his testimony. Ooh, wait, the court theme. I like the court theme. Shit, kind of nice. Your Honor, if I may, I like to test your witness testimony to see how it stands up. You doubt me? Am I your new suspect? In a sense, I suppose you could say that. Even you, a judge, are nothing but a common witness before a Von Karma. I like this judge. I like this court theme. Silence in the courtroom. Silence, I say. A new prosecutor recommended by Manfred Von Karma and Miss... Oh my god. By Miles Edgeworth. Francisca. You bit your tongue again, didn't you? As a defender of the law, I could never give false testimony. You can't even place me under oath if you want. Very well then. Your testimony, if you please. Let's go! Oh my god. Let's go. You're so cooked, Judge. During the recess, I went to the restroom. There's a window on the hallway side. In other words, I could see into the hallway. As I entered, I saw that detective buying something from the vending machines. But when I was about to exit the restroom, he had completely disappeared. A detective that goes missing while on duty. That sounds mighty suspicious to me. Oh my god, so bro was literally just sitting on the bench, you jerk. Oh god. Come on, Judge. Jesus Christ. Bro was just sitting on the bench. Your Honor, can you please try to remain calm? Oh. I'm so used to simply listening to testimonies that I got caught up in the excitement. I'm sorry, Your Honor, but I'm afraid I'm going to have to spoil your fun now. I need to press him. I need to see. I need all the judge lore.
Hold it!
Your Honor, why exactly did you pay a visit to the restroom, if I may ask? Okay. Oh? Well, isn't it obvious? What else did you go to the restroom for? Or maybe, I knew it! You suspect me of some sort of tomfoolery, don't you? Please stay calm, Your Honor. It's going to be much harder than I anticipated. I'm sorry. You're right. I need to think things through with a level head. I'm just nervous. So much has happened today with this trial. Let's see. I announced a recess in time for us to reconvene. But having done all that, I still wasn't able to go to the restroom right away. And why couldn't you? Mr. Faraday had been accused, so I had paperwork to process regarding a new prosecutor. Once I had finished that, I was able to make a mad dash to the restroom. At least he stayed consistent on going to the restroom part of his testimony.
Hold it!
Your Honor, did you really go to the men's restroom? But what is the meaning of that statement? I simply meant that perhaps you went to a restroom on a different floor. I had to go for such a long time. Yeah. It was all I could do to dash to the closest one in the courtroom. I suppose that's the only natural. I think that's the only natural, given his circumstances. I ran from the courtroom through this floor's main lobby down the hallway. Once you enter, you see there's a window just above the urinals. And it was through that window that you witnessed Detective Gumshoe, Your Honor? Yes, exactly. Your Honor, there's no need to yell. I can hear you just fine. Oh, I guess I put a little too much into that last answer. Now then, let's continue with the testimony.
Hold it!
Are you sure the person you witnessed was Detective Gumshoe, Your Honor? Yes, I'm absolutely sure. It's hard to miss someone of his stature, even from far away as the restroom. Damn, you just called him fat. Because I can't think of anyone with that kind of hairstyle in big beige coat. Oh, okay, that too. Well, I was simply wondering if you were mistaken in what you saw. What? Preposterous. My eyes are sharp as can be, ready to see through lies to the truth. Although recently, things do seem to be a bit fuzzier than they used to be. Clearly, his eyes are not the only thing that have gone fuzzy. But allow me to say this with all honor and dignity of a judge. I am not mistaken in what I saw.
Hold it!
He disappeared? Oh, Your Honor, didn't you just say, I saw that detective buying something from the vending machines? Why, yes, I did. The restroom window looks over the courtyard and right into the hallway. But, just as I was about to exit, I took another look and there was no one in sight. That led me to the only solution to this mystery. That detective must have gone to the crime scene lobby number 2 at that point. So he looked into the hallway for the restroom and over the courtyard, did he?
Hold it!
Your Honor, I ask that you please remain calm. No. I'm perfectly calm. You'd be anything but perfectly calm. It appears that His Honor could not have been mistaken in what he saw. I suppose so, given his line of sight. However, Francisco, why do you suppose our lines of sight are so different? If you're referring to my height, can't you hold that whip still for just a second? Now, about His Honor's testimony. I believe his line of sight to be an important factor. If it's that important, then why don't you hurry up and tell him already? I will, but there is one more thing I need to do if I am to correct His Honor's testimony. I'm going to need to retrace Detective Gumshoe's movements.
Objection!
No, Judge. What's with that finger wag for, Mr. Edgeworth? And don't you know it's rude to shout objection while someone is giving a testimony? Huh. If you truly are a man of the law, then you must always be vigilant. For example, I never let an opportunity to shout objection pass me by. Miles Edgeworth, it's one thing to be passionate about your job, but this is real life. This is what some people may say is the pot calling the kettle black. What? Never heard of that before. Your Honor, I wonder if you might take a look at this for me. What is that filth? How dare someone dirty the hallway bench like that? Who is the culprit? That party is hereby found guilty of uncleanliness. If you must know, the uncouth bench solier has already been placed under arrest thanks to your earlier testimony, Your Honor. Oh? Well, that's good, but who was it? We were able to discover something from that smudge on the bench, namely Detective Gumshoe's fingerprints. Not happy with committing just murder, he had to go and dirty the courthouse too? Guilty. Your Honor, please calm down. While it's true that the detective is the one who made the mess on the bench, we have not yet established that his actions is related to the double murder. What do you mean? I believe that the detective bought a pack of Swiss rolls from the vending machine, and then promptly sat down on the bench to eat one. The cake, crumbs, and pieces of chocolate on the floor under the bench. Detective Gumshoe's fingerprints prove my conclusions to be true. Oh, but I still don't understand. Is this the whole related to how I couldn't see him as I was leaving the restroom? It is indeed. The window in the hallway was built rather high into the wall, at around a grown adult's chest height. As evidence, I submit that Francisca herself was able to see out that window. Yeah! I knew I shouldn't have used her height as evidence. Basically, what this means is that the area directly under the hallway window is a blind spot where the hallway is being viewed from the men's restroom. But then, huh. Seems that you made the connection. If someone were to sit on the bench under the window, yes, even someone as large as Detective Gumshoe would effectively disappear from sight. But what? Do you finally see, Your Honor? Your testimony has just proven that Detective Gumshoe was, in fact, in the hallway the entire time. Did he just hold it? Ah, sorry. I didn't mean to say it with that much enthusiasm. All I wanted to do was try saying it once. Here, let me try that again. Hold it. Is there something of value that you'd like to say? Yes, actually there is. I remembered something else just now. Mr. Edgeworth, please allow me to testify to the court one more time. Even if we overruled him, he'd just keep on talking, wouldn't he? That might not be a bad thing. The more info, the better in a perfect investigation, right? Alright, Judge, you piece of shit. Part 2. I suppose it's possible you can't see a seated person from the restroom window. However, that doesn't mean the detective was sitting there when I looked. Anyway, I forgot to testify earlier about the probably the most important detail. As I was leaving the restroom, I heard the loud bang of a gunshot. How was that? That is the testimony of one who judges the crimes of others. Your Honor, could you try to state the important facts first next time? I agree. Before you go around judging others, you should learn to judge your own words. I'm sorry, but honestly, I thought that sound was just a noise popper until just now. He mentions it right before we restarted the trial. He did talk about that. There was someone celebrating a birthday during the recess. A popper going off. Come to think of it, the other day with my grandson. The most critical point of this argument is when did the judge look into the hallway? Whether that lines up with when the gun was actually fired. Your Honor, if I may, I'd like to clarify a few details of your testimony. Come on. In that case, you can see that you were overconfident in your last testimony? Now hold on there. I just said that it's possible you can't see a seated person from the restroom this time. But you know something? I don't think you know when the prints you referenced were left on that bench, do you? Chill. While you have proven that it's possible the detective was sitting, I still have a problem with just when those fingerprints were left. He's right. I have yet to prove when the fingerprints were left on the bench. While he feigns ignorance, his honor has seen a lot of life. This judge, I mustn't underestimate him.
Hold it!
Yes, you can. You can underestimate this judge. As we established, you went to the restroom during the recess. However, at what point in the recess did you look into that hallway? After I called for a recess, I handled the charge of prosecutor paperwork. Change. Maybe about 20 minutes until we reconvened? Yes, that sounds about right. Just as I expected. What were you expecting? And I demand to know what that all-knowing smile is for. Your Honor, that statement you made just now is very important. I'd like for you to append it into your testimony. All right, if you insist.
Hold it!
20 minutes before we reconvened. Very well. What did you do after that? Let's see. I had to make some preparations, so I rushed straight back to the courtroom. I also had to track down a few pieces of paperwork for the various bailiffs. So you rushed back to the courtroom despite having just heard a gunshot? Well, at the time, I thought it was just the sound of a noise popper. I really couldn't think of any other explanation than someone having a birthday party. But now that this has happened, I see. Thinking back, the judge did mention something to the effect when we reconvened.
Hold it!
If it's something that forgettable, I don't need to hear it. But all I did was forget to mention it. That sort of excuse may work on other people, but not on Avar Karma. Oh? But it's such an important piece of testimony. Please give me a chance to present it. I suppose I have no choice in the matter.
Hold it!
Your Honor, about what you just said. I know I couldn't believe it myself. All right. Yes, just like this with a quick. Yeah. Your Honor, please remain calm when you're trying to explain yourself to me. Yes, sir. Sorry about that. Now then, I must gather myself, yes. When I heard the gunshot, there was no one in the room hall. I should know, I looked. There was no one there. The judge's emotion circuits appear to be stuck on overreact. I believe that we finally found the flaw in His Honor's testimony. Yet, sadly, he's completely oblivious to it. But I guess I can't really expect him to be aware of it. Well, what are you waiting for? Hurry up and fill him in. At least that thing finally came in handy. Indeed. Now let's see what happens when I present it to His Honor. Your Honor, you're lying like shit.
Objection!
Your Honor, I cannot allow you to make an objection. What? Your Honor, I'm really sorry, but I cannot allow you to not allow me to make an objection. I cannot allow you to not allow me to make an objection. You can't. I've been overruled. Your Honor, there are simply too many holes in your testimony for my taste. What do you mean by that? You claim that you heard the gunshot during the recess, but that simply is not possible. Mr. New Prosecutor recommended by Manfred von... Ah! Instead of biting your tongue, why don't you just... Oh, shit. Why don't you bite your tongue on those preposterous names? I see you have no mercy for the elderly either, Francisca. Don't talk back to me unless you want to be whipped in the back. With your height, you need a stepladder or 4 to accomplish that. Sheesh! Yeah, say that out loud. See what happens. Mr. Edgeworth, my ears are not that far gone yet. I'll have you know, I can still hear just fine. I heard the sound of a gunshot loud and clear in my own 2 ears. Your Honor, I have here an interesting bit of testimony. It's from Detective Bad. And according to him, he heard the gunshot right before the trial was about to start again. What did you just say? Your Honor, you just said that you heard the gunshot about 20 minutes before we were to reconvene. How do you explain this glaring contradiction? That can't be. Unfortunately, that is the truth. I love this song. But I heard it clear as day. Bang! The loud sound of a gunshot. Sound of a gunshot. We keep returning to this point of contention. And that piece of evidence. I always did wonder why. I always found where it. What? Oh my God. I always did wonder why I found it where I did. However, now I understand what that gunshot to the judge heard really was. Unfortunately, Your Honor, this is what really produced that gunshot you heard.
Take that!
What is that pink substance? It may not look it, but this is actually a piece of balloon. I see. And Gumshoe is the suspicious one right now. And I suppose you would like me to accept that pink balloon in the court record? Your Honor, I present this piece of evidence in order to overrule your testimony. What? Your Honor, your argument goes as follows. You saw no one in the hallway when you heard the gunshot. Now, there's no guarantee that the detective was sitting on the bench at that time. Therefore, you believe he must have been at the crime scene, defendant lobby number 2. Am I correct? Oh yeah, and the judge actually has legs and a body. Yes, that's exactly right. Let me ask you something. Do you think that the gunshot you heard was produced by a real gun? I think I've said enough that even you can figure out the rest on your own. Your Honor, you were fooled by the popping of this balloon into thinking it was a gunshot. What manner of trickery is this? That was a good effort you put forth, Miles Edgeworth. But if it was me, I'd have wrapped this thing up before the judge even testified. Care to elaborate on how one ends something before it even begins? Well, to be honest, I did think that the sound was a bit off from a real gunshot. But who could have guessed that someone would pop a balloon in a place like this? That's true. One doesn't usually think balloons in conjunction with courthouse. There's only one person with a balloon, Kay. I want to trade these coins with you. That's it? The balloon that girl was holding explains everything. Your Honor, if it makes you feel any better, you didn't lie once in your testimony. However, I can't really vouch for its accuracy. Aw, who knew? That giving testimony could be such a difficult thing to do. Aw, poor judge. What have I done? I owe Detective Gumshoe a very, very big apology. I will see to it myself that he is released. Wait. There are still a few things I have yet to resolve about what happened in the hallway. Your Honor, I request your permission to further question Detective Gumshoe. But why? I thought we just cleared his name. Whether we did just now or not, I still cannot say. The only thing I can do now is continue in my quest for the perfect explanation. And to that end... Oh yeah, and this is Miles' first ever case. So this was 7 years ago. And to that end, I must resolve the remaining issues pertaining to the events that occurred in the hallway. Very well. Bailiff, please bring Detective Gumshoe into the courthouse. I must fulfill my mission and find the perfect explanation of this case. To be continued. Oh, never mind. Gumshoe! Well, what is it now? Is it time for my trial already? I've already told you a gazillion times, pal, I didn't do it. I'll be the judge of that, Detective Gumshoe. No, you won't. I'll be the judge of that. No, 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 no. I'm the judge around here. I'll be the judge of that. Why can't you guys be a little less judgmental? Yes, well, speaking of hasty judgments, Detective Gumshoe, I'm afraid I must apologize for an error in judgment on my part. Your Honor, I don't believe you should apologize just yet. You have yet to prove he is completely innocent of this crime. I guess so. What are you guys talking about? In any case, I would like you to testify about your actions while you were on guard duty. And please remember, you are not on trial. This is all just a part of the investigation. As such, you may still be found to be innocent. However, if you should give false testimony... Yow! My whoop will object loud and clear. If you are found to be lying, you will be held indefinitely. Understood? I got you, pal. Thinking back on the state of the crime scene and the judge's testimony, it's obvious that Detective Gumshoe was lying. And if I can't break his lie, then we may never get a break in this case. As soon as I got here, he ordered me to stand guard in front of lobby number 2. From that time on until I heard the gunshot, I was in that hallway the whole time. Mod check jorkers? On my honor as a detective, I swear it wasn't me, pal. Jorkers? He's still singing the same tired tune. In that case, I'll just have to change the melody. I know he's lying, and it's time I pulled the information I need out of him. Why are you lying, Gumshoe? Stop lying!
Hold it!
So it really was Detective Bad who called you down here. You bet it was, pal. I was left in charge of the precinct while everyone was out, and this call comes in. I want you down here 1 minute flat, he said. Well, I thought this was my big chance, my first case, so I made a mad dash down here. Although I couldn't exactly get here in a minute flat. So how long did it take you? About 10 minutes, I guess. What was Detective Bad doing when you finally made it? He was waiting for me down on the first floor in the entranceway, pal.
Hold it!
And by he, you mean Detective Bad, of course. And this being my first time at this courthouse, he also walked up with me to the 3rd floor hallway in front of the defendant's lobby. And did you meet anyone along the way? Well... Just as we entered the hallway, we ran into Miss Yu. When he heard from Miss Yu that Mr. Faraday was not to be interrupted, that's when Detective Bad told me to stand guard in the hallway, pal. So far, Detective Gumshoe's testimony is matching up with Detective Bad's.
Hold it!
You claim to have been in that hallway the whole time. However, is it not a fact that you did something while you were in that hallway? Of course I did something. I guarded the door to lobby number 2, pal. What else? Very well then. What exactly does guarding that door entail? Well, to put it simply, oh no, it's my job to stand in front of the door without moving an inch. Oh? Detective Gumshoe, you mean to tell me that you didn't take a single step away from the door of lobby number 2? Is that really what you wish to testify to the effect of? You got it, pal. I didn't take a single step away from that door, just like I was ordered not to. Oh boy. What? Why is everyone so quiet all of a sudden? Because we are all in shock and in awe of your utter stupidity. Scruffy, if you're going to lie, at least tell us a more believable one. Ow! But I'm not lying. I should hurry up and bring this insipid testimony to a close.
Objection!
I have what is it, pal? Detective Gumshoe, I wonder if you might recognize this from somewhere. Hey, it's one of those things. The courthouse special Swiss rolls, right, pal? Precisely. In that case, I suppose that you also recall the sullied hallway bench? Hey, you know what? I think it was probably me that did that. You know, you can't go around dirtying up the courthouse like this. You consider it slovenly pig? Gow! I promise to clean it up later, I swear. Now then, shall we get down to business? About the fact that you didn't move even a single step from in front of that door. If that were really the case, then how were you able to buy a pack of Swiss rolls? Yo. Furthermore, if you didn't move a single step from in front of that door, how did you manage to get that bench dirty with your grubby hands? Yow! Yo. It appears that Francisca's whip could do more damage than my words any alone can. Alright, I confess, pal. I was so hungry, so I bought a pack for myself, okay? I thought I'd get chewed out again if anyone found out about me eating on the job. So I didn't want to say anything. So, Gumshoe, what you're telling me is that you'd rather get put in jail for a double murder than be found out that you were eating on the job. Holy smokes, Gumshoe. Well, unfortunately for you, I saw you do the whole dastardly deed. I clearly saw you buying a pack of Swiss rolls from the vending machine. Okay, I'm sorry for lying. That last statement, it may sound like it makes sense. However, there is something I don't quite believe about it. Are you sure you're not withholding further information from us? Huh? Of course not. I've got nothing else to hide, pal.
Objection!
Oh, if only that were true, Detective Gumshoe. But it's true, pal. I swear there's nothing else. Detective Gumshoe, I'm sure you're aware of the price of a pack of Swiss rolls, correct? Huh? Remind me again, pal. That vending machine out in the hallway is selling packs of 2 Swiss rolls for a 6-pack at $6 a pack. And yeah, according to you, you didn't have any cash on you until you cashed your $5 annual bonus check. Isn't that right? Oh, my stomach. Let me ask then, how did you manage to purchase a pack all by yourself? Can you provide me with a proper explanation of that? I told you I bought it myself, pal. There wasn't anyone else in that hallway with me, so there's no one who could have helped me buy it. Wait, don't tell me. You got some kind of proof that there was someone else in that hallway, don't you? Correct. As if you could. I mean, what are the chances of that? Wait, you do? Of course I do. What? How? What proof do I have there must have been someone else there in the hallway? She kicked me in my fucking leg. And it hurt really bad. Really bad.
Take that!
What the heck is that? I knew you didn't really have anything. You prosecutors are all the same. Always lying to people. You should stop, you know. Damn. I refuse to be lectured by the likes of you, detective. Miles, how long do you plan on being strung along by this moronic detective? I have no intent of falling for his lie, because there was definitely a second person. Okay. So it's not the balloon. Oh, it's the Swiss roll again.
Take that!
Hey, you showed that to me 2 seconds ago, pal. Ah, I think you're under the mistaken impression that I bought this pack of rolls. Wait, if you didn't buy it, then that means you must have stolen it, you thief! I would never do such a thing. All you liars are the same. You start out as thieves, You're under arrest, pal. I believe you meant to assert that all thieves start out as liars. In that case, what does that say about you, detective? This particular Swiss roll is dropped by a certain someone. Oh. There were 2 rolls in this package. You ate one of them. But then you gave the other to a certain other person, didn't you? No way, pal. You've got it all wrong. I ate both of them. Damn. She's gonna kick me in the leg. Oh! Oh, yeah. Ultra Instinct Miles. Ultra Instinct Miles. Yo. It would appear that we've caught you at last. Hey, don't you dare do anything bad to that girl. It would appear that they do know each other after all. So why do you continue to come and kick me? Have I wronged you somehow? I have a name and it's K. K what? K Faraday. Faraday? Are you perhaps Mr. Faraday's daughter? It's not you. I'm not a U, I'm a K. K? You know? Good little girls don't kick other people. Especially not hard enough to leave big nasty bruises like the way you do. Poor Miles, bro. Well, then you shouldn't have put Gummy under arrest, mister. Gummy? My guess is that she's talking about Detective Gumshoe. What a cute nickname you've given him. Gummy didn't do anything wrong. Okay. It appears that I will need to speak with her in a bit more detail. Did she just growl at me? Now then, Kay. She hiss at me? She's like a stray cat. I wonder if I should feed her something.
Take that!
Pray, Kay, I promise to give this to you if you calm down. Oh, a Swiss roll. It belongs to you though, doesn't it? Yeah, I was saving it for Daddy. Oh, now this is getting sad. Oh my. Now, yeah, see, now this is sad. Your father, he's... don't you say another word, pal. She doesn't know yet. Thanks for watching out for me, Gummy. But I already know about Daddy. I overheard the guards talking. Oh, about how he's not here anymore. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I couldn't protect him. Okay. I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna... Oh, bro. Cry. It's alright. Let it all out. Your father just passed away, after all. I myself was also involved in a case at this courthouse when I was a young child. A case in which my father, who was a defense attorney, passed away. All my dreams of becoming a lawyer were crushed into a fine ash on that nightmarish day. Even now, the wound festers deep in the depths of my soul. Ever since that incident, I've dedicated myself to locking away every criminal I can. And now to have this happen right in front of me. This child. I feel a certain shared fate, a common bond between us. Miles Edgeworth, what sort of gentleman are you? Are you going to just stand there and watch a lady cry? Ah, you're right. Sorry about that. Okay, here, how about we use this handkerchief here and dry your little eyes? Oh, bro. Oh, this is so sweet. Oh, it's right into his cravat, though. My cravat! Don't pull your nose on that. I feel better now, thanks. It was sweet until I realized that he was blowing her nose on his cravat. Okay, are you going to be alright? Aw, yep, I'm already alright. Somehow, I highly doubt that, but I'm not going to push it. I promised Daddy I'd never cry in front of strangers. And you're a good kid, aren't you, Kay? You always keep your promises, right? That's right. Aw, she's so cute, bro. Even if I can't see Daddy anymore, I'm still going to keep all my promises. You're a very brave girl, Kay. You're a very good child for keeping the promises you made to your papa. Yo, you're not that far away from her, Francisca. She's 10. You're 13, she's 10. I'll even testify that you didn't cry just for you. Thank you very much, lady. Huh, it's nothing. I'm only telling the truth after all. It appeared that because her father was a respected prosecutor, Francisca is sympathetic to Kay's feelings. Kay, what kind of person was your father? Daddy was a hero of justice. His job was to catch all the bad people in the world. So to you, a prosecutor is a hero of justice, huh? I suppose we are in a sense, as we are the ones who seek guilty verdicts for criminals. Plus, you know what? Whenever I came to the courthouse, Daddy would buy me my absolute favorite treat, Swiss rolls. Oh? I want to be a hero of justice someday just like Daddy. So I've been working really hard. I see. What have you been working hard on? I've been working hard to keep all the promises Daddy and I made together. A promise notebook. May I take a look inside, Kay? Sure, okay. It appears to be an exchange diary of sorts between father and daughter. Mr. Faraday's writing conveys a sense of the kind of man he was. This little notebook just might come in handy later. Thank you for showing it to me, Kay. I hope you continue your hard work and become a hero just like your father. I'm gonna try. Hey, Kay, so I'm a detective that catches the bad people, right? That makes me a hero, too. Yeah, you're really cool, too, Gummy. Yeah, aren't I, Kay? Yo, okay, Gumshoe. What's with the two of them? I hand out verdicts of justice, so that makes me a hero, too. Yes, and thanks to your oh-so-heroic testimony, you almost painted that detective as a vile criminal and sent him off to jail. I'm really sorry about that. Gummy is not a bad man, okay? That poor judge. He's being treated like a vile criminal rather than a hero of justice. It appears that you and Detective Gumshoe are good friends, Kay. Yeah, we're friends. In that case, would you mind telling me a little more about him? Dick Gumshoe. So I take it you ran into Detective Gumshoe earlier? Yep. I was on my way to see Daddy when I saw Gummy standing there. He was standing in the hallway, staring really hard at the vending machine, so I said hi. And when was this? Huh? Oh, before everything got crazy. How long were the two of you together? We only talked for a little while. And then we went our own ways. That's right, pal. Kay and I only talked for a little while, and that's it. Oh? Which means... We have now confirmed that Kay was in the hallway during the recess, isn't that right? Ah, you got me. I told you to stop picking on Gummy, mister. Very well, then. I'll just have to speak with a good detective in private later. Were you the one who bought this pack of Swiss rolls, Kay? Well, I didn't really have a lot of money. And I somehow made $1 out of all these pennies and quarters I had. But that still wasn't enough, and I really, really wanted one. Apparently he's 19 in this game. That was close. 18, 19. Come to think of it, she did come and ask me to exchange a handful of change for $1. Granted, this is his first ever case, so this is like a case in the past. And that's when you came and asked me to change your money, correct? Yeah, thanks a bunch for doing that, mister. Sure. Let me ask you, even with that $1, you still didn't have enough, correct? Well, that's why... Hey, if you boy Kay anymore, I'm gonna have to arrest you, pal. Yeah, remind you that you're the one already under arrest? Yow! Since that Kay is going to be less than forthcoming with this question. Sorry about your roughly thing. Oh, this cravat. Yes, well now that it's positively drenched in your nasal mucus. Don't worry, Kay, I have a spare. So here, you can have this one. Aww. Oh, is that what she gave me? That's what she gave me in the third case, was the cravat. But Daddy said, never take things from a stranger. Ah, it's one of the promises you made in your promise book, correct? Yeah, look, see? It's right here on this page. Alright then, I'm not gonna give this to you. I'm merely allowing you to borrow it. You can take it home, wash it nice and clean, and then give it back to me next time we meet. Okay, Daddy never said I couldn't borrow things from strangers. Now the Detective Gumshoe. Uh-oh. I believe it is now crystal clear. Now you were with little Kay in that hallway. I told you to stop being mean to Gummy. Miles Edgeworth, there is still something you have yet to resolve. I beg your pardon? You still haven't offered an explanation for why that man would lie to us. But that's, well... Gummy, don't tell me you lied for my sake. Hey, don't worry about it, Kay. Everything's gonna be fine. Ah, so that's why. So what's the detective's motive for lying? If you can't explain that, then you can't call this a perfect investigation. His reason for lying is very simple. What? Here's what I believe to be his reason. From simple observation of the detective's actions and his interactions with Kay, it's obvious that the detective was lying for the young girl's sake. And this piece of evidence will show you exactly why. Which piece of evidence proves that Detective Gumshoe was lying on account of Kay?
Take that!
Mr. Faraday and Kay's promise notebook. How does this explain anything? If you can take a look at this page, it's clearly written that Kay should never take things from a stranger. When Detective Gumshoe heard about that promise, he tried to cover for Kay. What a foolishly foolish fool's fool of a foolishly reason for a fool. Yow! Gummy, you lied because of me, didn't you? Because I'm your friend, Kay, that's why. Gummy? At long last, Detective Gumshoe, can you please tell me the whole truth now? Guess there's no beating you, huh, pal? Okay, I'll spill the goods. I've been standing guard for a while. I was getting really hungry and that snack vending machine was taunting me. But all the cash you had on you was $5 and that wasn't enough to buy anything, right? After all, the cheapest item in that machine is a $6 pack of Swiss rolls. Yeah, but then like an angel from heaven, Kay showed up. I was thinking about sharing a snack with Daddy, so I wanted to buy a Swiss roll. I only had about $1 in coins. So we pooled $5 and her $1 together. Bought a pack of Swiss rolls together. But I was worried about breaking one of my promises. So then Gummy said, Mr. Faraday's one scary guy when he gets mad. But don't worry, you won't get in trouble if I don't tell, right? Besides, you bought it with me. So you don't really get it from me, you know? He told me it'd be okay. And he gave me a whole roll to save and give to Daddy. Who knew that Scruffy could be so considerate? Indeed. Detective, I take it that you then sat down on the bench and ate the rolls together? Yeah, we split the other roll and ate it right then. The sweet taste of that cake's chocolate. I'll never forget it as long as I live, pal. Anyway. Okay, I believe... Finally, get this stupid balloon thing out of my face. I believe this also belongs to you? Oh, that's from the balloon I popped. It's bad manners to leave garbage lying around, Kay. I'm sorry. Well, I guess I can't blame you for not throwing this one piece away. So just this once, I forgive you. But that balloon, I wanted to surprise Gummy a little, so I popped it on purpose. And because of me, Gummy dropped his half of the Swiss roll. Aww, that's such a cute picture. Wow, you really got me there, pal. So I thought maybe I should give Gummy this other roll. And I saw you picking on Gummy, mister. So you kicked me, is that it? You sure are a feisty one. I'm really sorry, mister. It's alright, I'm perfectly unharmed. But about this Swiss roll, would it be alright with you if I held on to it until Detective Gumshoe is cleared of all charges and free to go? Yeah, sure. Just make sure you give it to Gummy afterwards, okay? Of course, I promise. Now then, I believe we have proven beyond the shadow of a doubt that Detective Gumshoe was in the hallway for the entire duration of his duty, which undeniably proves that Detective Gumshoe could have not committed the double murders.
Objection!
That's Miss Yu's objection. I love that. Actually, it proves just the opposite, Edgeworth. You've just shown that Detective Gumshoe was the only one who could have committed the crime. What do you mean? It's quite rude to eavesdrop, Miss Yu. Yeah, she laughs like a lot for some reason. I'm getting lectured on manners by a girl with a penchant for whipping people? What? How dare you talk back with such insolence? You're wrong, lady. Gummy's not the bad guy. Oh, and what do we have here? What is a child doing here in a courthouse? Bailiff, please take this child away. What? Miss Callisto, you! That girl's Mr. Faraday's... I know. So what? Wow. You think that's just because she's the victim's daughter? She gets to just run wild all around the crime scene? What the fuck is wrong with you? I think it's actually quite dangerous for her to speak, nothing of getting underfoot. I suppose you're right. However, as long as we're in agreement on that point, let's get back to the real issue at hand. Now then. Detective, you were in front of the door to the lobby number 2 the entire time, correct? Yeah, but you see? Isn't it obvious that it could only be the detective? He's the only person who could have gone to lobby number 2 at the time of the murders. I have no counter argument to that. Don't worry, I've already put in the necessary paperwork for his former arrest. But the investigation is far from over. Oh, that's right. I'll go to speak with you about that. Don't you think it's reckless to talk to the suspect out in the open without a guard? I suppose it is. Well, as someone with more experience in law than you, allow me to share something. Always keep a good eye on a criminal, or you may regret what comes of your negligence. Ooh, Miles, I can't believe you're letting this woman lecture you like this. This is unforgivable as a disciple of Von Karma. Down, Tigress. Now then, I'll be looking forward to the results of your investigation. So, we're back to square one. Actually, this is our last chance. I can tell that if we fail to solve this case, Detective Gumshoe will be formally charged under all of the circumstantial evidence. This investigation is not over yet. There's still one location we have yet to inspect. It's where Detective Bad and Miss Yu were at the time of the crime, lobby number 1.